to the right, going to review your file.
Jonathan Collins, Jacqueline Dillon, Evan Holmes, John Mills, Ronald Mills, Gary Munyon.
Your name, sir?
Collins, Jonathan.
Jonathan Collins.
Yes, sir.
2406, 2406, 406 is the case number. Okay, you have done some work on your community service since the last time you were here. You still have 3 days left, it looks like. Do you have a payment on your fines today?
Yeah, 80.
Okay, you're getting close to getting that finished. If you get everything finished before the next date I give you, you don't have to come back.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to make it February the 13th. It's a Monday. Finish it up before then, you can skip that here. You'll be complete.
Thank you.
Proceed, Clark. Okay, Jacqueline Dillon did not appear. She gets a warrant for not being here. Jacqueline Dillon.
Your Honor, if I may, I believe she did check herself into OVP, but we have not got confirmation.
Okay. Let's see, is Brianna here today?
I have not saw her, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll put it aside. We can contact OVP. See, she's not complying with what she's supposed to be doing.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, we'll check on that and see if she is inpatient now.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Evan Holmes?
Yes.
220463. Okay, you did finish the 3-day program, you just did that.
Yes.
Do you have any payment on your fines today?
Yes, 200, Your Honor.
Okay, may I see the clerk to make that payment? You've got 5 days of community service you have to do.
Yes.
How are you gonna get that done?
I'm actually in the middle of doing that right now. I'm remodeling a parsonage for a church in Cold Grove.
That is correct, Your Honor.
You agreed with that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, see the clerk to make your payment. Yours is a newer case. I'm going to give you more time than I did the last person. I'll set it for March the 3rd. If you finish everything up by then, confirm it with your probation officer. You don't have to come back.
Okay, thank you.
Finished. March 3rd, 9 a.m.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Your name, sir?
Gary Munyon.
We have a report for you from Lawrence County Recovery. That's a very good report. You're doing what you're supposed to, good screens, going to your meetings, working. Sounds good. Okay, his case number is 21183. You still have community service and fines to pay.
Yeah.
How are we going to get the community service done?
I was just talking to him this morning.
Cooper.
Yeah. He's back and work at the courthouse down in Ironton.
Courthouse in Ironton?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that going to be through Ironton Municipal?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, you got to get that done. Are you paying anything on your fines today?
No, sir, not yet.
Okay, that's got to be done too. If you can't pay, you can do extra community service. You get $50 a day credit, but we got to get this done. You're doing well in your recovery, but you got to take care of the other stuff too. So I'm going to see you in about a month. For your work schedule, does it matter if it's Mondays or Fridays for your?
No, I work midnights.
I'm sorry?
I work nights.
Okay, so you can do either. Let's make that exactly 1 month. February 6th, that'll be your next hearing. And that's a Monday, it's February 6th, 9 a.m. Okay, keep up what you're doing on your treatment. You're doing well.
Thank you, sir.
Well, okay. John Mills was called for, did not appear, gets a warrant. Same for Ronald Mills.
Nicholas Renko Jr., Stephanie Roman, Richard Snodgrass, Darren Terveen, Donald Thompson, Gregory Webb, Danielle Wilbur.
Okay, Nicholas Franco is here. Case number 21116, you just owe $75. Can you make a payment on that today?
No, sir. I need a little more time. All my water pipes busted in my apartment, and I don't need to say any more than that.
No, I know how that is, so. February the 6th will be your next hearing, get it paid, and you don't have to come back.
All right, thank
February
you.
6th, 9 a.m. All right, Stephanie Roman is not here, it's been called for. That's case number 171080 and 173010, or will be a warrant. Richard Snodgrass.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have a report from Marissa at OVP, and she says you're doing very well. You're doing what you need to do in their program, so good job there. And you did make a payment toward your fines today, so
Yeah.
that's good work. Thank you for doing what you need to do. Okay, I'll set, looks like everything's going well, but this is an older case, so we need to get it finished. You plan on staying with OVP? Is this going to be a long-term thing with them? Or
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want you to continue there. You got to pay off your fines too. So I'll set your next hearing for February the 10th.
All right.
February the 10th, 9 a.m. Keep doing what you're doing with OVP.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome. Darren Terveen,
Yes, sir.
case number is 21379. ODI, you've got community service to do, you've got fines to pay.
Your Honor, if I may, he tried to turn some community service in this morning, I did not accept it. It didn't have, it was not on letterhead, it didn't have good contact information, he said he could get it. Said he'd done it at Goodwill, so I did not accept it, but he said he
Okay.
could.
Well, we need something where we can verify it, so. Do you
I'll
have a
fax it
payment
in
on your
today.
fines today?
Yes, sir, I got 150 today.
Okay. And you got, okay, how many hours do you think you have that you can turn in?
I've got them all, I think every one of them that I had left. There's eight. I've got 32 hours.
Okay, if you get that, and it is verified, that will finish you up on your community service. I did remember I had a question about restitution, because I think there was a wreck and you damaged somebody else's car, and there was a question whether you had insurance, right? Did you?
Yeah, I showed,
verify that you have insurance?
yeah, I showed proof of insurance like 4 times.
Okay, and has it been turned in, the wreck was turned in to your insurance company?
Yeah,
Okay, you think they paid it then?
no, I'm paying the restitution off.
Well, if you had insurance, they should pay it for you. Okay, I mean, maybe you need to pursue that further, but that's why you carry insurance. If you carry insurance, you get in a wreck with somebody, it's your fault, your insurance company's supposed to pay their damages for their vehicle.
I'm fighting it out with my insurance company right now, so.
Okay, well, you know, one of the things I want to make sure happens is the person that you damage their car, whether it's from you or the insurance company, gets taken care of. You know,
Yeah, I've been
and
paying
they
on that.
call. So if you got to pay it, fine. But if you have a contract with an insurance company, that's where you have it. It's for them to protect you. So, I can't be your lawyer on that, but maybe you need to talk to a lawyer if you think the insurance company's giving you the runaround, which they are known to do. Okay, I've got you down for $150 to pay at the clerk's office, and I'll give you a new date of February the 6th. February the 6th will be your next date, 9 o'clock.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Okay, Gregory Webb is here.
Yes, sir.
05775. And you've been making monthly payments. Do you have a payment on your,
I have $20 payment for today.
you've already made a payment?
No,
today?
sir.
How much was that?
No, I have $20 to pay now.
Oh, you're gonna pay it now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because I didn't see it in the file. Usually it's in the file. Okay, go see the clerk, make your $20 payment, and I'll set your next hearing for February the 6th. 9 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Okay, Daniel Wilbur was called for, has not appeared.
Your Honor, I believe she's on the screen.
Oh, okay, she is. Okay, good. You can pull that up. Case number is 21-2931. It's on an OVI. All right, where are you, Miss Wilbur?
Like location-wise,
Yes, where are you location-wise?
I'm in Columbus. I actually just got a house today. Me and my son are moving today. I'm in a hotel right now.
Okay, so you're going to be living in Columbus?
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
Okay.
Well, it's actually Worthington. It's Worthington.
Okay, well, for people here, there's not much difference, so we'll consider that Columbus. You still have some fines to pay, and you got community service. I ordered you to get some of that done before, and you haven't done anything that I can see. Have you done any community service?
I haven't. I just need another extension because it's just been hard. Like, I know it's not your problem, but I stay in a hotel with my kid.
Okay, how old's your son?
He's 8. He's been doing online school, but he gets to go back to school this week.
Okay. Well, that should free you up to do some community service, right?
Right.
Okay, well, let's get it done. I'm going to set your next hearing for February the 10th
Okay.
at 9 a.m. and you can appear by teleconference like you're doing now, but get some community service done and turn it in.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Donald Thompson was called for, has not appeared, 21-1775, he gets in one.
State of Ohio recalls Stephanie Roman, case number TRC 17-1080, TRD 17-3010.
Okay, she's here now. And this is an OVI and no driver's license. Have you got anything to show towards your cases? You got a fine, you got community service that you've done?
No, not
Anything?
yet. I got out of jail 2 weeks ago, I think.
Where are you living now?
I'm staying up in Ironton,
With family or?
my boyfriend's family.
Okay. Is there any reason you can't do community service?
No, so I do have a job during the day, so I can see if I can do some on Saturdays.
Yeah, we have community service here on Saturday. You can, I'm not sure about Iron Municipal. Do they have it on Saturday? They don't. Okay. You'll need to get here to do your community service.
Okay.
Yeah, you've got some still left and you got fines left to do. I'll set your next hearing in a month, February the 6th at 9 a.m.
Okay.
Cancel any warrant that you did appear late. Okay, that's all.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, that finishes the reviews. We're going to start what's called arraignment hearings next. So anyone that has an arraignment needs to come now, if you got a new charge or you have a warrant on an old case, you will be called during this time, these next hearings. You have a right to have an attorney appointed if you're facing jail time. You have a right to remain silent. You don't have to make statements. If you do make statements, what you say is all on the record. It can be used against you if you admit something against your own interest. You have a right to bail and to make the state prove any charge beyond a reasonable doubt. If you're going to enter a guilty or no contest plea, all those rights I just explained to you, you're waiving those if you enter a guilty plea or no contest. So don't do that unless you fully understand the proceedings and what could happen. You cannot, not guilty is the safest plea you can enter. Call the first case.
State of Ohio versus Isaac Kelly, case number TRC 2311, A and B.
And sir, are you Isaac Kelly?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kelly, it's alleged that on January the 1st at 9:55 p.m. in Perry Township, you were driving a vehicle while you were under the influence of either alcohol or drugs or a combination of those substances. It's alleged this would be your first conviction if you're found guilty. On a first offense, the maximum you face is 6 months in jail, $1,075 fine, and a 3-year license suspension. That's the most the court can impose as a penalty. There is a minimum, so the least you can get if you're convicted is 3 days in a treatment program, $375 fine, and a 6-month license suspension. And on the urine screen, it's alleged you took a urine screen. Those are sent to a lab in Columbus for testing, and it takes several weeks to get the results, so I don't have any results today. Do you understand that charge?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about it?
No, sir.
You got one other charge, driving outside your lane. That's a minor misdemeanor. The maximum penalty is a $150 fine. How do you wish to plead to these charges?
I'd like to plead not guilty.
Do you want to be considered for a court-appointed attorney?
Yeah.
Do you have a job?
Yes.
What do you do?
Maintenance.
Where?
Kiwanis Apartments in New Boston.
Are you paid by the hour?
Yes.
How much per hour?
$15.
How many hours a week? I have to
40.
determine your gross annual income. I'm not just doing this for fun.
40.
40 hours a week. So I get your gross, I had to determine your gross annual income. You're making about $31,000 a year gross, is that correct?
Sounds about right.
Do you have any dependents? Do you have children or anyone you're supporting? Okay, you actually are making too much money for me to appoint counsel. For a single person, it's about $20,000 a year is the max you can make and get court-appointed counsel. So you're going to have to hire a lawyer. How much time do you need to do that?
A week.
Okay. Well, it's going to be longer than that before we come back. So.
Okay.
In fact, it's up to you. You can hire up counsel immediately if you wish to. One of the things we can do, because it's going to take a while to get your test results back, I'm going to set a hearing at the time I think they'll be available. You can come back and see what the state's alleging was in your urine, then decide if you want to get a lawyer, give you more time then if you want to wait and see. For alcohol and a lot of other substances, there's a per se level. If you don't reach that level, then it would be hard for the state to prove a charge. If you're over that level, then there's a presumption, if the test was done correctly, presumption that you were impaired by the fact that you tested over.
Yes, sir.
So let's look. Okay, let's make it March the 3rd. I mean, it seems like a long time, but it'll probably take that long to get your test results back. March 3rd is the first Friday in March. There'll be a pretrial at 10 o'clock. Putting down that you're not eligible for appointed counsel. I'm going to let you sign a signature bond of $1,000 and enter a not guilty plea for you. So what that means is you're going to sign a piece of paper that says you promise to come to court when you're ordered to, and I won't make you post any money. It's just like an IOU. You owe $1,000 if you don't show up. You have to pay that, and you get a warrant. That's the worst part. You get a warrant for not showing up.
Yes, sir.
So just come to court. You'll never have to post any money.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir.
March 3rd, 10 a.m. is your next hearing.
State of Ohio versus Cirillo Espinoza, case number PRD 222789, AMD.
All right, and is your last name Espinoza or?
Yes, sir, Cirilo Espinoza.
Okay. And you understand me okay? You speak English fine?
If you got nothing, no.
Okay, and who are you, ma'am?
I'm his wife.
Okay. And you can translate if needed?
Yeah, he understands. He understands me.
Habla español?
Yes, sir.
Un poquito.
Un poquito? Okay. That's about the extent of my Spanish.
He's been with me 9 years, so he understands my slang.
Okay, he is charged that on December the 18th at 10:49 a.m. in the morning of December the 18th in Union Township here in Lawrence County, he was driving without a driver's license. The good news is that's not a jailable offense. The maximum penalty for that is 500 hours of community service and a $1,000 fine. That's the most he can get. He's also charged with failure to control his vehicle. That means usually he had a wreck. There is a crash report here.
Yeah, there was ice, and he hit the ice, and when he hit the ice, the truck spun and hit the bridge.
Okay, they charged him with failure to control his vehicle. That's a minor misdemeanor. The maximum penalty for that's a $150 fine. So those are the two charges. Do you understand the charges, sir?
Yes, sir.
I explained the rights that defendants have before. Now, you don't have a right to a court-appointed attorney because neither of these charges are jailable. Even if you're found guilty, I can't send you to jail on these. The most you can get is community service and a fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
How do you wish to plead to these charges?
He doesn't have a license, and like I said, he hit ice. I don't know if that's failure to control or not. It was the ice that caused the accident, but
Well,
I mean, he had a license, but his wallet was stolen, and so.
he did have insurance.
He does, yes, sir.
Okay, let's get the prosecutor in here and see if he may be willing to dismiss the failure to control. This is Mr. Espinoza. He admits he didn't have a driver's license. He says he hit ice on the road and it caused him to leave the roadway. So the prosecutor might be willing just to dismiss that. That seems to be confirmed by the court.
And he's charged with failure to control and no OL?
Right, and he's agreeable to plead to the no OL. Dismiss the...
Yeah, as long as there wasn't damage to any other property.
No, sir, just the
he
truck.
hit the 31st Street Bridge.
Probably no damage to that.
It probably came out okay, 31st Street. It's
Truck
still
didn't
standing,
come out
I went
very-
past it this morning.
Truck didn't come out very good, but the bridge is okay.
We're okay with that, John.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, so I'm going to dismiss the failure to control. you have a license?
We are in the process of working with an attorney to get all that stuff situated. But with the financial situation, I had a stroke in April, and so financial situation, and then with the COVID and everything's just been.
Well, how soon do you think he could get, because here's what I typically do on these. If he will go get a license and show it to me, I'll just give him a fine, no community service. If he doesn't want to do that, then I'm going to give him some community service and a fine.
Well, I mean, we'll have to do the fine and the community service right now, because we're,
Well,
like
if
I
you're
said.
saying that he can get it within a reasonable period of time, a driver's license, then I would let him come back. But if it's not going to be a reasonable period of time, then let's just do the community service and the fine.
Well, we go this month to see the attorney, if everything works out okay, so.
Well, do you want to come back? You say you live in Chesapeake, so you're
I live in
close.
Chesapeake, sir, yes.
You want to come back, and I'll let him come back in a couple of months and show him if he has a driver's license then.
Okay.
I'll just delay the sentencing. So I'm going to accept his guilty plea as to the no operators, dismiss the failure to control, delay sentencing, and set it out till, let's make it March the 6th, 2 months exactly. That'll be at 10 o'clock. You want to write that down there in little form. March 6th is your next hearing date. If things don't go the way you plan and he doesn't get his license, you got to come back to court regardless.
Right,
If you don't show up, you get a warrant.
yes, sir. He'll be here.
So if you need more time, come back and ask for it or explain your situation, just don't blow it off. A lot of people do that. Oh, I'm just not going to get it. Well, then they wind up wearing an orange jumpsuit and wonder why. Come back to court regardless.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you understand what you need to do? Work on getting a license.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
State of Ohio versus Paul Cron, case number CRA 22-819.
And sir, you Paul Cron?
Yes, sir.
I think this is probably his copy. I don't know. Have you received a long copy of the charge? You just received this citation?
Yeah.
Okay, it's been placed, it's the same information, but it's on a longer form now. The complaint alleges that at Mason Township on December 20th of 2022, you disposed of solid waste by open dumping or burning in violation of 373403 of the revised code. That's an unclassified felony. The maximum penalty is 4 years in jail and a $25,000 fine. It's an unclassified felony. You understand this charge?
Yes, sir.
You understand your rights?
Yes, sir.
You have the money to hire a lawyer?
No.
You have a
I'm
job?
not even working.
You have no income right now? I'll appoint Mr. Stratton to represent you. I'm going to appoint a lawyer for you. This is Mr. Stratton.
Morning, Ron.
Good morning. Paul Cron. He has an open dumping unclassified felony charge.
Okay.
So, I don't know if you want to talk to the prosecutor first, but usually their position is they would keep it here if he does some remediation. I don't know anything about the facts here.
Okay.
Do you want to waive time and try to keep it here, or how do you want to deal with it?
That's it for a second. Yeah, we'll waive time, Your Honor, and see if we can keep it here. Usually this is just a cleanup issue with the prosecutor, typically the way we handle those.
Okay, what's your schedule about 3 weeks out from now?
Just a second, I think anything except the 23rd and the 6th, Your Honor.
Is that something the state would be interested in, keeping it here with him and making efforts to clean it up? I don't know anything about the facts.
Well,
our position would be it's got to be cleaned up. So whether we ultimately decide that we can keep it here or not, it's going to help him if it's cleaned up. And the reason that I make that qualification is that I don't know if there's a history that would require us to do something different. Ordinarily, what we want done is it have it cleaned up. So we're okay with moving it out.
You're saying there's a chance,
I'd say there's a good chance.
Yeah, so if we set it for a,
but you're not guaranteeing it.
Can't guarantee it just because if somebody said, wait a minute, you didn't take into account this other factor, which I don't know about right now.
yeah, I didn't see much of a narrative here, Your Honor. So we'll set it for a prelim whenever.
But, I mean, do you still want to waive time?
Yeah, we'll waive time,
Okay.
yes.
How about the 27th? That would be 3 weeks.
Yes, that'll work, Your Honor.
January 27th,
Did you postpone to?
the preliminary hearing, 10 o'clock, defendant waives time constraints. He can sign a $2,000 signature bond.
Yep. Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
All right, let's step outside.
State of Ohio versus Michael Trogdon, case number TRC 23005, A, B, C, and D.
And sir, are you Michael Wayne Trogdon?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Trogdon, you have a complaint that alleges on December 31st at 3:18 p.m. in Fayette Township, you were driving a vehicle while you were under the influence of either alcohol, drugs, or a combination of those things. And the state's alleging you refused to take any tests. And it is alleged to be your first offense. On a first offense, the maximum you face is 6 months in jail, $1,075 fine, and a 3-year license suspension. The minimum you face is 3 days in a treatment program, $375 fine, and a 6-month license suspension. That's if you're found guilty. That's the range of penalties on a first offense. You're also charged with driving without a license. That's a unclassified misdemeanor. The maximum on that is 500 hours of community service and a $1,000 fine. You're charged with not wearing a safety belt. That's a mandatory $30 fine if you're found guilty. And failure to display plates, which is a minor misdemeanor, maximum penalty is $150 fine. So you've got 4 charges. You understand the 4 charges you're facing, sir?
Yes.
I explained the rights that defendants have at the beginning of court. Were you here for that?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you understand it or have questions about your rights?
No, sir.
How do you want to plead to these charges?
But for the under the influence, not guilty, for the charge of seatbelt, not guilty, and for the no operators, I'll plead guilty.
Well, let's just enter not guilty for everything. I think by far the OVI is the most serious charge. If you have a lawyer, they're going to want you not to enter a guilty plea to
And
the other charges
the
too.
vehicle that I was driving was my aunt's, and I was working on her plumbing. Because that's when that weather was real bad and all her pipes busted. And she gave me her keys and told me to go there, and she went to the hospital after that. Her furnace stopped working, everything, because it's all in the basement and flooded.
Okay, well, those are all things you should talk to your lawyer about. Do you have the money with which to hire a lawyer?
No.
Do you have a job?
No.
You don't have any
I'm
income?
on disability.
That's your only income right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to appoint Mr. Steyer to represent you. We'll get him in here. He is here today in court. So I need Attorney Steyer to come in. There he is. Mr. Steyer, this is Michael Trogdon.
Hi.
Like you, he's a West Virginia resident. He has a first offense OVI charge with a refusal, alleged refusal. It's the main charge. There's some other charges too. So, I'm looking at, in terms of the pretrial date, 17th would work, 23rd, 27th, 30th. Any of those dates work for you?
17th is not, the others are all available.
Okay. Let's do the 20th then, January 20th.
No, Your Honor, I'm sorry, the 20th doesn't work. I thought you said the 17th or the 23rd. The 20th, the entire week of the 17th to the 20th, I'm out.
Okay, the 23rd is good also, January 23rd.
Okay, thank you.
January 23rd for pretrial at 10 a.m. And Mr. Trogdon can sign a $1,000 OR bond. Not guilty pleas entered.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
January 23rd. And I'll talk to you out front in a few minutes. Just wait for me out there.
That's all, sir. Thank you. Good talk with Mr. Steyer.
State of Ohio versus Jason Taylor, case number TRC 172266, A and B.
Okay, and you're Jason Taylor.
Yes, sir.
It's case number 172266. Looks like you had a review hearing last Friday that you
Yeah.
appeared for.
I missed, I got the dates confused.
Okay, your community service is done. You're working on fines now. Do you have a payment on your fine?
I paid some online this morning. I'll pay some more when after I get off
What did you
there.
pay online?
20.
Okay. I'll set your next hearing. It'll be January 30th. January 30th, 9 a.m. I'll cancel the warrant.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Get this taken care of and we'll come to these hearings.
State of Ohio versus Brandy M. Hines, case number TRC 222783, A and B.
And you're Brandy Hines?
Yes.
And are you, it looks like you sent in something showing you were sick before.
Yeah, last week I had COVID and the flu.
Are you better now?
Yeah.
Okay, you have a charge alleging that on December the 18th at 4:55 a.m. in Fayette Township, you were driving a vehicle while you were under the influence of alcohol. And so as this will be a first offense for you, at least you've not been convicted before, first conviction. A first offense carries a maximum penalty of 6 months in jail, $1,075 fine, and a 3-year license suspension. That's the most that can be imposed if you're convicted. Now, yours is different from some of the first offenses I had before because the state's alleging you took a breath test and tested 21 on a breath test, so that's a high test score. Under Ohio law, there's two numbers on the breath test that are important, 8 and 17. 8 is the per se level, so what does that mean? If you take a breath test and test 8 or higher, and, very important and, the state can show compliance with the rules. So there's a lot of rules for giving the test, calibration of the machine and when they administer it and that sort of thing. They got to show compliance with those things. There's a presumption that you're impaired if you test 8 or higher. There also, under Ohio law, if you test 17 or higher, then it's considered a high test. The state's alleging you tested 21, so that would be considered a high test, and what does that do? It raises the minimum penalty. Even on a first offense, then, if you have a high test score, there's mandatory jail. And it's 3 days in jail and 3 days in a treatment program. That's the minimum you can get on a first offense with a high test score. $375 fine and a 6-month license suspension. So that's a lot of information I threw at you there. Do you understand it?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions you have?
No.
You're also charged with driving outside your lane. That's a minor misdemeanor. It carries a maximum penalty of $150 fine. So those are the 2 charges. You understand them?
Yes.
And you understand the rights you have as a defendant?
Yes.
Any questions before you enter a plea?
No.
How do you wish to plead?
Not guilty.
Do you want a lawyer appointed to represent you?
Yes, please.
Are you working?
No.
You have no income?
No.
Anyone else here now besides Stratton and Morford? Okay. I'll appoint Mr. Morford to represent you. We'll get him in the courtroom. So bring this down here. I'll text you that this way. Mr. Morford, good morning.
Good morning, Ron.
This is Brandy Hines. She has a first offense OVI, but it's with an alleged high test score of 21. So she's entered a not guilty plea. For a pretrial, I could do the 17th. I think you're already here that day. That's the Tuesday because of the holiday on the 16th. Do you want to do that?
I am, yes, sir.
Okay. January 17 is going to be the next hearing. It'll be a pretrial at 10 a.m. Not guilty plea is entered.
Would you announce this down on the next few?
It was a breath test,
Right.
21.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, does she need to post bond?
Yeah, I'm sorry. She can sign a $1,000 OR bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
State of Ohio versus George Russell Stanley, case number CRB 167 A and B, TRD 164155 A and B, TRD 141421 A, B, and C.
Okay, and you're George Stanley.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you had a review on Monday. It looks like you were not here then, is that right?
Yeah.
You have an explanation for that?
I wrote the 4th down instead of the 3rd, but I came in on the 4th.
Your Honor, he did come in on the 4th, and I advised him that he'd missed his court date, and told him to come in next court date.
Okay, you have done some community service since your last.
Yes.
You did
that's-
make a payment on the 4th also. Okay. That'll be excused then, no warrant. The warrant should issue, and I'll give you a new review hearing date of February the 6th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. February 6th, 9 a.m.
State of Ohio versus Keona Creek Floor, case number TRC 201534 A, B, C, and D.
Okay, this was set last Friday, and looks like you were not here then. Do you have an explanation for that?
I was sick, Your Honor.
Okay, you did make a payment last week, though.
Yes.
Your Honor, if I may, she turned community service in this morning also. I need to call and verify. But
Okay.
I believe it was 15 hours.
All right, and you did complete the driver intervention program, so.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, you're making progress. Keep working at it. Let's get this done.
Okay.
I'll set you, let's see how many I've set that date. Okay, it's still okay date. February 6th will be your next hearing. February 6th at 9 a.m.
Alrighty, thank you.
You're welcome.
State of Ohio versus Tina Wells, case number CRA 21606, CRB 141276, CRD 13688, A and B.
This is also a case that was set last Friday for review. Well, actually, it's not review, it was hearings.
Hearings.
And Mr. Morford's your attorney, right?
Yes.
Okay. We'll get him in here and let you talk with him, then we'll recall it after you've done so. Mr. Morford, this is Tina Wells. You're representing her. She had preliminary hearing and pretrial and review on some other cases. Last Friday she didn't appear, so if you would talk to her, then we'll recall after you've done so.
I've talked to her
Okay.
as I came in, excuse me, Judge. She claims to have had COVID on that day. I don't have anything in writing I can offer to you to establish that. Today, she says that she has it at home and can bring it in.
Okay, let's do that. The next hearing, you want to just continue this today? then?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and, so you've been at Bethesda.
Okay, Your Honor, I'm no longer at Bethesda. They discharged me
Okay,
because they said they couldn't help me no more because of my disability. We're going into having surgery. They wouldn't be able to take care of me afterward. So I've been staying with my daughter. I've had the surgery and I'm doing well.
Okay, here we've got a representative from Bethesda.
That is not correct.
What is not correct?
You were non-compliant and argumentative with staff and other client members.
I was laying down, okay.
Okay,
Can you get me a report? The last report I have from Bethesda is, well, let me check, because it's got two files. Might be in the other file. Yeah. I don't have a discharge type summary. Can we get something like that? And
Yes, Your Honor. I'll reach out to Kristen Boggs, who runs that house, and she'll have the statements and discharge summary faxed over.
okay. All right, Ms. Wells, I'm ordering you not to depart the courthouse until I get that report.
Okay.
And then we'll recall you and we'll decide what direction.
Yes,
Are you
sir.
getting any treatment from anyone?
Yes, Mahajans. I'm still with Mahajans with the mental doctor. I still do therapy with them twice a month on the phone, and I see my mental health care doctor.
Okay, we'll recall you after we get the report from the test.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, that finishes the arraignments. So we have some pre-trials that we're going to do now. So anyone who has a pre-trial needs to come in the courtroom, including the lawyers.
I'll be right back. Not disappearing.
State of Ohio versus Brenda Griner, case number TRC 222709, A and B.
Good morning, Mr. Creams.
Morning, Your Honor. Your Honor, I've gotten discovery from Mr. Hill in this, and I have gone through those several hours of video, and I've gone through a lot of it, but I need to go through it with my client. So if we could reset this matter, Your Honor, to maybe January 27th. I don't know how the court's docket looks at that point.
Okay, at the defense request, assuming there's no objection from the city.
No, Your Honor.
With the time waiver, I'm sure. The time waiver case is continued, defense request to January 27th for another retrial.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Yeah, he will. Okay. Okay.
And then he has a meeting for
Okay.
So he says he's going to try to get it down.
State of Ohio versus Shop Group Holdwell.
Okay.
Case number 22, TRC 222688 B&C.
Your Honor, likewise, I have received some discovery in this. I've gone through what I've got. There's some outstanding discovery that I've spoken with Mr. Hill about today that we're requesting. And prior to getting an interpreter involved, I wanted to get the discovery accomplished so that we can have meaningful conversations. If we could set this as well for the 27th.
Any objection from the city?
No, Your Honor.
At the finished request, case is continued to January 27th for the retrial. 10 o'clock.
Yep, just wait for me a second.
State of Ohio versus Joshua Ramey. Case number TRC 222576 A and B.
Yes.
All right, and Mr. Holt is representing you?
Yes.
Okay. He contacted the court this morning. He had a matter this morning that was going to delay him getting here till about 11 o'clock probably, so we'll recall this after Mr. Holt leaves. So you just have a seat, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Smith, Roger Smith is on here.
He is,
He's in Wayne County.
yes.
State of Ohio versus Keith Cremines. Excuse me, Your Honor. This case, Mr. Stratton instructed me to call this case along with Richard Cremines. Who's represented by Lyle Schmidt.
So we'll have to delay because the other attorney involved in the other case is not here. We'll recall, sir.
State of Ohio versus Elizabeth Dubois. Case number CRB 22535.
This is Mr. Stratton's case.
Sorry, Your Honor, I was waiting on Mr. Smith. Which one is this?
The Guava.
Your Honor, she had surgery yesterday, a pretty serious surgery. So I talked to the prosecutor, we're just going to continue it out, waive time, and set it for a new pretrial.
Okay, you have a preference as to a date?
Your Honor, I say we look at, if it's okay with the prosecutor, sometime in the middle of February.
Mr. Hill?
We're not opposed to that, no.
13th, February 13th?
Yes, Your Honor, that'll work.
February 13, at defendant's request, will be the next pretrial, 10 o'clock.
State of Ohio versus Mark J. Seymour, case number CRB 22484.
It's Mr. Steyer's case, pretrial.
Chloe.
He said she's not.
Because of all those emails. It's like, step back together, some emails, yes.
So, he said he had nothing to do with it, but he didn't get it.
For the cost.
For costs. Figure out a week or two and tell them to pay the cost and come back.
Yeah, I'm thinking, here, hold on. We had her subpoenaed on the 23rd, and she was here. She knew about the hearing today.
She came and told you.
Okay, and she's not here today. Right. Well, yeah, let's do that.
Your Honor, I think the state is willing to dismiss this upon payment of court costs. Mr. Seymour does not have the money with him at the moment, but he says he can get to the ATM and come back and pay the costs.
Somebody paid $141.
Oh, they may have been paid already then.
Yeah, I've already made, I thought it was another payment.
Oh, no, I didn't realize you already paid. He's already paid the costs. That's correct.
Your Honor, I wanted to state for the record our position on this because there is a victim involved, and that's Chloe Marietta, and she was here on December 23rd. And there was an issue at the time because we had required, in order to get a dismissal in this case, for Mr. Seymour to do counseling. Well, he did the counseling, he says he finished it, but it was through her agency, and he wasn't able to get records that he'd completed. It required her to get the records that it was completed, and it's never been done. Also, the last time that Ms. Marietta was here, she indicated to us that there had been more problems, which would also be a reason to not agree to the dismissal. But she knew that today was another hearing, and she hasn't appeared. She was here the last hearing and told about today's hearing, and we've received some information from the other side indicating a different picture on the whole thing. So, under the circumstances, because he's paid the costs, we're agreeable to a dismissal.
Okay, outright dismissal or not?
A dismissal.
Okay, case will be dismissed.
Thank you. All right, you're free to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
State of Ohio recalls Jacqueline Dillon, case number TRD 192680, TRC 172192 AB in the city.
I do have a text report, and Ms. is now present in court, confirming that Ms. Dillon is now inpatient at ODP.
Yes, and she has been required through the felony court to complete long-term treatment, so she will more than likely be continuing to Lawrence County Recovery whenever she completes OVP.
Okay. And when's her completion date of inpatient?
It is the 14th.
So do you have an active case in common police court?
I do. I go to court on Wednesday, and they were talking about the IOP. I think they're just going to put that on record and everything on Wednesday is my understanding.
Who's your lawyer?
Tyler Smith.
Okay. Let's go out about 6 weeks, and I'll set it then, and hopefully Mr. Smith will be available to appear. Okay, February the 17th, I'm going to put Mr. Smith down as your counsel. February 17th, and I'll let him know that this has been set for a date then. I'm going to call it pretrial on review. issue, so put it on the pretrial docket.
Okay.
Okay, good luck. You're at the right place to get some help. Take advantage of it.
I am, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're welcome. I've notified Mr. Smith of that hearing date and what's going on with Ms. Dillon by text just now.
State of Ohio versus Michael W. Smith, case number TRC 222716.
It's Mr. Steyer's case and it's set for a pretrial today.
Your Honor, I've discussed the matter with my client. I think we're going to need another pretrial on this. We would waive time constraints.
What date would you like?
Is the 30th good, Your Honor?
Yes.
December 30th then, please. Is Monday okay with you versus Friday? Okay.
Oh, you want December 30th?
No, January 30th.
Okay.
I was saying Monday versus, as opposed to coming back on a Friday since today is a Friday.
December 30th is what we've missed, so. January 30th.
Year continuance.
January 30th.
There's time waiver.
Time is waived by the defendant. The next
10 o'clock.
trial, January 30th, 10 o'clock.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
State of Ohio versus Hobart Beerhart, case number CRB 23-8, CRB 22-764, CRB 22-477, CRB 22-383, CRB 22-342, CRB 21-815 A and B, TRC 22-2414 A and B.
Okay, so there is a new charge.
I was informed of that earlier, Judge.
It's being delivered right now. Do you want me to read it?
No, sir, I don't see need
What
to.
happened on January the 4th? Well, I tried to avoid this, but I think I'm going to have to order these animal assault.
Judge,
Sheriff is going to be really happy about this.
I have another suggestion, Your Honor.
Okay,
That is,
I'm very open to hearing other suggestions.
well, I mean, when we've been here previously, Mr. Gerhart has been kind of equivocal about selling the cattle. Like, well, I've gotten rid of some, still got some. I believe that it's maybe appropriate to give him a short leash to absolutely get rid of them or impose, he's been found guilty, he hasn't been sentenced. And I think that he needs a short period of time, meaning like a week or whatever it takes in a short period of time to absolutely have rid of all of the cows.
Your Honor, I got 9 head.
Let's let your lawyer speak.
Judge,
Have you had a chance to talk? Do you need time? to talk?
Yes, sir, we've talked. I looked for him as soon as I got here because I knew you wanted a solution to the cattle today. And he would have you adopt his suggestion, which is he's going to get rid of the cattle beginning tomorrow. He has 9 head of cattle left. Beginning tomorrow, he's going to load up.
Have a man cram in there, and then what's left over Wednesday, I'll take to Gallipolis.
If there are cattle remaining after the trip on Saturday, he'll take the remainder to Gallipolis and dispose of them, sell them on Wednesday next week.
Well, it sounds like that's agreeable to the state.
It's got to get done, as far as we're concerned. And I want just to make sure, because I know that one of the gentlemen who actually testified in the trial, that is one of the neighbors, he's actually called here for me today. So I know that he's going to want a definite answer on this.
Well, let's just continue things. I'll enter a not guilty plea on this new charge, but set everything before the court next Friday, which is the 13th, I believe. Yes, 13th. And my expectation is that you're going to follow through on what you said.
I'm going to, I promise you.
And get rid of these cattle because
Yeah,
for whatever reason, they just keep getting out and getting out and getting out. And
I got too much on my plate right now, so.
okay. Give you a week to get rid of them and come back.
Next Friday at 10 o'clock?
On the 13th at 10 a.m. for pre-trials and sentencing on the one case where he's already been found guilty.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, we're also going to try to have a sheriff's deputy go out there and confirm that, so before next Friday.
So on Thursday, they should be gone. Because he's saying he's taking them to the market to get whatever's left on Wednesday after.
Right, whatever's left, I'll put full.
Yes, sir.
January 13th is the next hearing.
Thank you, Judge.
State of Ohio versus Kelly A. McDaniel, case number CRB 22610. Kelly McDaniel.
Mr. Morford's case, set the pre-trial date.
Is T. McDaniel here? Oh, there you go. I got bad eyesight.
Let's keep it up. Okay. I'm encouraged by that. So, get a check.
You need this.
Judge, Madam President, I have a letter for you from Cabell Huntington Hospital.
Yes.
So, Your Honor, I think the court's received a copy of that letter, which is very encouraging. And I think it's an indication that both of these individuals are working hard on their relationship. And that's really what we were hoping to see. The last time we were here, we indicated that we'd like to get more information about what they're doing. Our goal is then for them to continue, or, you know, obviously Mr. McDaniel is required to continue in the counseling and get to a place where we feel comfortable in dismissing the case unless there's further problems. We hope there aren't further problems. So we would agree to a continuance if they're agreeable to waiving time. Let them take part in some more counseling. And of course, at the end of the case, we would be also requiring the payment of court costs.
Mr. Moore?
We're on board with that, Judge. She's committed to making this work and doing the counseling that they're in.
How about March 3rd then is the next hearing date?
That's good to hear, Judge.
Does that work for everybody else?
Yes, sir.
She's looking at her schedule, I take it.
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay. March the 3rd, be the next pretrial, be a time waiver till then, looking for a dismissal with payment of costs. You're on the right track for that.
Thank you, sir.
Good job. March 3rd, 10 o'clock. is next.
Take your seat.
That's yours if you will. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
State of Ohio versus William Meadows, case number CRB 22687.
Thank you.
Mr. Morfer's case is a pretrial.
I brought their videos to you the other day.
He's the best person to ask out.
And I brought like,
What's going on?
I don't know, we had court the other day, the day that I was in your office, and the juvenile prosecutor said that the judge was gonna make a written decision that he would get a hold of his mother.
It's the juvenile stand.
And we left court and I brought you the videos.
I got that.
You know what happened in juvenile court?
It's still playing out.
Did they have a trial or something?
Did you have a trial for?
Yeah, like, the prosecutor come out and told his mother that the judge was gonna make a written decision and they'd get a hold of her.
Judge, I believe that we were going to see how the juvenile court proceedings have played out. I understand that apparently there's been a trial, but not a decision rendered yet.
Okay.
So from my standpoint, I would ask that it be continued until, I would say any day a decision would be rendered. Mr. Magistrate Vyckoff is pretty efficient at cranking out the decisions.
17th then? You want to do it then?
That's way enough time.
All right, next hearing is January 17th for pretrial, 10 o'clock.
Why we gotta keep doing this when the videos plainly show that I had, I'm missing work and everything.
As soon as you get that decision, you'll see about the commencement.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
State of Ohio versus Linda Thacker, case number CRB 22775, A and B.
Mr. Morford's case for pretrial.
Case was dismissed. I meant that last case.
Today's the first pretrial, we may have to subpoena him. Samuel Coleman? Rush Coleman?
Your Honor, there are 2 alleged victims in this matter, and we have contacted them by phone or attempted to and haven't made any contact yet. We would like to have them here to determine what we need to do with the case, so we'll issue subpoenas for them.
And when did you want to do that?
Well, if we can come back in 2 weeks, I think, is that enough time? 2 weeks, please.
And that's the 20th. Are you available then, Mr. Martin?
Yes, Your Honor, I have several cases here on the 20th.
January 20th will be the next hearing. Pre-trial 10 o'clock.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
State of Ohio versus Gary Thompson, case number CRB 22-526, A and B.
How are you?
I'm good.
How are you?
Working every day. I get another advancement job. Are you still with I lost my medical because of my pay raise. And I couldn't let it. And the insurance I get at work is like half like through safety. And the pay for my
We moved.
But I've been going with my wife to her.
Is there Riverside?
Behavioral, I did with her last, what's her name? Huntington Behavioral, Healthy Behavioral. I went with her and I sat in one of her doctor's appointments and talked with her and her doctor and stuff.
Okay.
He's done everything he's
Mr. Johnson was at Riverside. Do we have a report on him? Is he still there or what's going on?
Not there anymore, Judge. Apparently his income increased at his job, and that cut out some of his benefits or something. He wasn't able to stay there. He's been at least one session with the wife to Huntington Behavioral Health in Huntington, and is going to try to attend that. I think he's getting another raise at 5-star.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's been many incidents between the two since the complaint was filed.
Really good.
Well, I think we need to have a urine screen today. Because he had problems with that at the very beginning when he started Riverside testing for a lot of stuff. So let's do a urine screen today. And we'll decide where we're going after he comes back.
Yes, sir.
State of Ohio versus Scott Taylor. Scott Taylor, case number TRC 22-2629. Scott Taylor.
Okay, this is Mr. Smith's case. He's back from OW.
Yes, I've been out waiting on one judge.
This is set for pre-trial.
Which is concerning. Approach, Your Honor.
Yeah. All right, no talking in the courtroom. If you want to talk, go outside. Mr. Smith, when did you want to come back?
Judge, yes, I've just received an update to discover. I need to go with my client. Put my calendar up real quick here. I'm here in 2 weeks. That would be enough time if it's the 20th is not too bad on your calendar.
It's fine. Okay, defendant's request, case is continued to January 20th for pretrial, 10 o'clock.
I'm gonna let me call you, get you in, okay? Before then. 10 o'clock, yeah.
State of Ohio versus Mark Oden, case number CRB 22185, CRB 22183 A and B, CRB 22159, CRB 21901 A and B. Mark Oden. He's not checked in, but there is some note that he's running late.
Judge, I just got a text from my office, we can maybe call back up. His original ride didn't show up. He says, he's got another ride, I guess he's on the way.
Okay, it'll be recalled later.
Thank you, Judge.
State of Ohio versus Keith Cremines, case number CRB 22602, and State of Ohio versus Richard D. Cremines, case number CRB 22601.
Co-defendants. Set for pretrial, Mr. Stratton and Mr. Smith.
Is James Piscopo here? One of the things that we wanted to accomplish today, Your Honor, was getting a restitution figure, both in order to figure out what we would propose as a resolution and also to determine if maybe these shouldn't be felony charges because the alleged damage is to removal of catalytic converter on a car and other damage. So it could rise to more than $1,000, but we don't know at this time. And the alleged victim was here. And knew that the hearing was today on 1/6 because he was here the last time.
Do you have contact information?
We do, and there's no voicemail on the phone. And I tried to call him and haven't gotten a response. So, I would suggest that we set it for a trial, unless they want a pre-trial, one more time. We'll try to subpoena our victim and go from there.
My client, he's insisting on the trial. I mean,
Yeah, Your Honor, we'll actually follow.
nothing linking my client to this theft other than this man lived his
I
city.
didn't understand the first thing you said. What did you say, Mr. Smith?
Oh, I'm sorry, I said there's nothing evidentiary, as far as evidence goes, this man says my client did it. He wasn't in Ohio at the time, but we'd like a trial.
Well, if they have an alibi, we'd like to be able to see that. In fact, I think that they're supposed to file a notice of an alibi.
7 days before trial, the trial set.
And we file notice of alibi also.
We will.
Well, let's do that and have another pre-trial. Let me look into it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
The 20th is a good day.
And we'll also subpoena the victim.
Okay, so if the victim doesn't appear, will you commit on the 20th after subpoena that you'll dismiss it that day?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's fair enough.
January 20th.
January 20th, the pre-trial, the complaining party is to be here or the case will be dismissed?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
And the defendants are going to file notices of alibi?
Yes, yes. We'll get it filed.
Yes.
January 20th, 10 o'clock. please.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
State of Ohio recalls Gary Thompson, case number CRB 22-526, A and B.
Stackers.
The 20th.
January 20th.
Bring it back if you didn't. She's not bringing it back.
I don't know what that means. I just take like a stacker thing. I don't take nothing else. Honestly, I don't. My wife gives me that thing at my sleep. It's called hydroxyzine. I don't know what that means. It's not narcotic. I knew it was
What?
marijuana.
Saith?
My client is
What saith the defendant?
adamant that he does not do methamphetamine, doesn't know how that got in the system.
I
He
don't-
admits to marijuana use, Your Honor, but he's pretty adamant that he does not do methamphetamine. He
Well, the
does a
test
couple,
was for amphetamine.
or amphetamine.
What is that? 'Cause
Take stackers, is that, will that do that? No.
that's the only thing I take. I honestly, I'm telling you the honest truth. I have not taken nothing. My wife, that night, now, there's a hydroxyzine she gives me to go to sleep at night, but I don't think that's a narcotic.
He has PTSD really bad from prison, and he has nightmares. And I have to give him medicine sometimes to calm him down because he.
But I honestly,
Well, amphetamine's not gonna calm him down, it's gonna amp him up.
Yeah, I know nothing about that. That is something that shocked
Yeah,
me myself.
I really haven't, I honestly, not unless the only thing I take that just gives me energy is a stacker. And that's, when I go to work, and that's the only thing I do.
I don't know what a stacker is. so.
It was
It's
stacker
a-
wouldn't do that, it's made of.
It's an energy
medicine. It
pill.
would be Adderall, it would be Ritalin, it would be.
See, I don't take none of that.
It's the only way it happens. Stacker will not do that.
I really don't. I honestly, telling the truth, I have not taken nothing.
I work for the courts.
Mr. Hill?
Well, Your Honor, one of the things that we've been told today is that Mr. Thompson's getting better jobs all the time. He's been elevated in his position. And they've bought a home, so there are some positive things going on. Matter of fact, Mrs. Thompson, that is what your
I'm right
name?
here, Laura.
Laura, she kind of stopped me out there in the hallway before court and wanted me to know how well things are going. And I said, yeah, but there's still some things we're concerned about. We want to make sure they're on the right path. She's the victim of the domestic violence. There's another individual who is also charged, Mr. Thompson was charged with assault, and the victim is Tommy Perry, and I believe she was okay prior to there's been no further problems there either. So we don't have a problem with continuing on and whatever kind of assistance that Mr. Thompson and his wife need to go forward and maybe try to resolve this case successfully without having to follow through with a prosecution to conviction. If he needs some more counseling help or whatever, but I realize his medical card situation's changed because of his employment.
Judge, he's offered to come in every week here and take a drug screen at his cost.
I mean, I will. I really don't honestly know how that is in my system. I mean.
Okay, well, it is an improvement, but when we first started working with you, you tested for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, yes I did.
And that wasn't that long ago, right?
Yes.
So.
5 months ago, I think.
Okay, well, let's keep working. Are you getting any kind of counseling now?
He goes with me.
I went with her to
He
her
goes with
hunch
me.
behavior.
I'm a psych patient. I have therapy every week.
And where is that?
Huntington Behavioral Health. And I bring him in and we talk about things. We have to learn so much communication
I
and
started to get
honesty
documents
and
from it.
just, we're in a really good place.
Okay.
And I think it will continue. I mean, I'm pretty happy.
Okay, pretty
It's
happy.
good to my children. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better husband. Over one night of stupid mistakes.
Okay, well, let's continue with this, and I'll take you up on your offer to come in and get urine screened.
Okay.
So set that up with Mr. Cooper, and
Who's Mr.
we'll see you
Cooper?
back in 6 weeks.
Okay.
So that's gonna be the 17th of February, Mr. Morford.
I'm good then, I believe, Judge.
So when's he gonna get the urine screening?
He's gonna set that up with Mr. Cooper. He'll just come in, not on the court case, but just come into the office.
17th is not a good date in February.
How about the 20th?
20th is good.
February 20th will be the next hearing.
State of Ohio recalls Tina Wells, case number CRA 21606, CRD 141276, CRD 13688.
Well, this appears to be COVID.
Yeah, it's COVID, that's what I had.
Huh?
That's what I had was COVID.
I think what the judge is looking for is,
This is the reason I wasn't here.
I know that, but I believe that the court is also interested in.
Your Honor, we also talked to Marshall Health, where she was having medical care. And they also stated to us that she just couldn't stand for longer than 15 minutes, and we accompanied that. We don't ask them to stand very, what we do all day long is sit.
Well, this is a felony, I believe. It is. So how's the state want to proceed?
Is there no other alternative at this point?
That's just a
COVID excuse, okay. I actually don't have a file out here, we're gonna get it.
Okay, you want, let's recall it then after the state gets their file.
Thank you, Your Honor.
State of Ohio versus Samuel L. Losey, case number TRC 22267.
This is Mr. Each's case, set for pretrial.
Your Honor, Mr. Hill and I have discussed this case. There's one issue that he and I would like to work through before we ask the court to schedule a hearing on the defendant's motions. So on the defendant's motion, I'm going to ask the court to reset this matter for another pretrial. I looked at Friday, January 20, or Friday, February 10. Both are fine with me, Your Honor.
20th is good. Is that agreeable with the state?
Yes, Your Honor.
So it's going to be a pretrial, not pretrial on motion, not.
Just a pretrial, Your Honor.
All right. Case will be continued to January 20th for a pretrial, 10 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
I'll look at that. I'll call you about it.
State of Ohio versus Joshua Ramey, Case number PRC 222576 A and B. Mr. Holt's case.
Yes. I'll need Mr. Holt in the courtroom, and I may have noted this before, but it's in the computer. Oh, it has been corrected. This is Joshua, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
I did have an email on this other day. Is this true?
Is it not because it's some court or is it?
Your Honor, there's some discovery and some issues that Mr. Hill and I need to work on this one, so I'd ask for a continuance. But I believe this is the first pretrial since I've been retained, so if we can have a continuance, we would waive time for this.
All right.
Period of continuance.
Defendant waives time constraints. You have a preference as to the date to come back. And I'm looking at probably 17th, 20th is okay, 23rd, 27th, somewhere in there.
Would the 23rd work?
Yes.
Does that work for you?
Of January?
Yeah,
What day is that on?
that's Monday. Friday better for you.
Well, either or is the same.
Just if that works for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, yes, sir, I think we do the 23rd.
January 23rd will be the next hearing at defendant's request for a pretrial at 10 o'clock.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Just wait for me out there, okay? Gotta stay down in the lobby.
State of Ohio versus Deshaun L. Evans, case number CRA 22799.
Your Honor, he's waiting. That's my fault with everything's been going on this morning. I didn't give him the Blue Jeans code because I forgot. Oh, I thought you were talking, okay, I'm sorry. I was thinking of I didn't think we were calling him. I'm sorry with everything going on. It's been a crazy morning.
I understand. Sean Evans, Mr. Holt's case.
I was thinking that would be called last. Your Honor, we wish to waive our preliminary hearing.
Okay, and you understand, Mr. Evans, you have a right to probable cause hearing today. Your attorney says you want to agree to waive that. This will keep your bond in place.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You'll need to sign a written waiver, which the clerk's preparing now. And you have your ankle monitor, everything in place?
Yes, sir.
So it's very important, maybe Mr. Holt's already confirmed this to you, but you have to, I don't know when it'll be. It might be down the road quite a bit before you're asked to appear at common police court. He has to be able to get you in court when you're asked to be. So if you change your phone or whatever, he has to be able to get a hold of you. You understand that? So
Yes,
he can
sir.
get you there.
Just sign right there.
Or you could lose your bond.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes. I'll accept this waiver, case is bound over the grand jury on the same bond already set.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Right.
State of Ohio versus Davin Tippett.
Your Honor, this
Number
was-
PRC 222344 A and B.
This is the case that he was going to be on Blue Jeans. I've been in contact with this morning, and I forgot the court's Blue Jeans.
Okay, we'll recall it.
What is the court's Blue Jeans code?
Well, you can get it from up front.
Up front,
Small
okay.
meeting number.
State of Ohio versus Kayla D. McDonald, case number CRA 21229.
This is Mr. Holt's case, and it's a preliminary hearing. She's at the counseling center.
Thank you.
She's at the counseling center now. How's that going?
Well, she just entered on the 28th, so we're still in that honeymoon phase, but everything seems to be fine.
Honeymoons are good.
Yes.
Hopefully it'll last. You were doing so good, and then things, without judgment, weren't so good. So let's get it back on track where things are going good again.
Sir.
Okay, you're agreeable to that? See you shaking your head.
Yes, yes, sir, sorry.
So my proposal would be come back in about a month and see how she's doing then.
Okay.
Is that agreeable?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, February the 6th. And you have a felony, so.
Yes, sir, I'm aware.
Okay.
I'm aware.
You got a big anvil over your head that a lot of people act like, no big deal if I don't do what I'm supposed to. No, you got a gigantic anvil over your head, it's gonna drop on you if you don't do what you're supposed to.
Yes.
And you're not in charge of it.
Yes.
You're not in charge of your own treatment.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
State of Ohio versus Stanley D. Bennett Jr., case number CRA 2646, and PRC 2015-22, A and B. Stanley Bennett. Mr. Smith's case.
Mr. Smith's case, we need him in the courtroom.
Judge, he went to OVP. He needs to schedule an appointment. I didn't see Bree here today.
She is here. She was here.
I came in the back door. I might have missed her. Maybe she could update us, because you need to schedule an appointment.
Yeah.
But you did go to your your assessment.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I did all that. And then I had an appointment scheduled, and then that's when it snowed and ice, and then I couldn't get there, so, on that Friday.
So you need to reschedule.
Yeah. Yeah, my aunt just died, and then, yeah, it's been a little hectic. Yeah.
You need to do it before you leave today.
Yeah.
She can do that.
That's fine.
She leave?
Mr. Hawthorne is looking for you, Your Honor.
Okay, let's recall.
So we'll call Mr. Oden back up. We can recall, thank you.
Yeah,
Just
because I just
stay-
texted Mr. Met.
Just stay in the courtroom.
I need a report.
If you stay in the courtroom, that'd be good.
State of Ohio recalls Mark Oden, case number CRB 22-185, CRB 22-183 A and B, CRB 22-159, and CRB 21-901 A and B.
He's on community control.
Now, I have a note saying he still has home monitoring to do.
Judge, he is, I don't know.
I'm on probation right now through the federal, and I check in every week.
It's commonplace.
You had an order for that.
Did you do home confinement out of this court?
It got sent straight up there. When I got
CRB 22183, you got sentenced to 12 days jail, 30 days of electronic home monitoring. I don't think you've ever done home monitoring.
Did you do the ankle monitor?
They sent me straight to Ironton.
I know what you're supposed to do.
And then 30 days home monitored.
You're supposed to do monitoring through that one case here.
Make sure he did it.
Which case?
Case number 22183.
He may have done a jail time.
Judge, he did the jail time.
Yes, I
He
did.
did not do ankle.
I done all my time, sir. Literally, I'm just trying to get back to my life, working.
Well, you have to comply with the court's orders, and you've got to do this home monitoring.
Yeah, because you're going to go to court here. You got to complete that sentence.
So how does that work on my probation with Ironton? I report with them.
Yeah, they're the ones that are actually going to put the ankle monitor on. So we
And I will
need to-
speak with his probation officer. Who's your probation officer? Which one?
Aaron, I think. I go up there every Monday.
And I'm going to send a copy of the order to Carl Bone, who's over the probation department right now. Let him know this needs to be done.
Hopefully they can hook him up Monday, Judge. You report anyway in person.
Yes, I do. That and my community service.
And I'll copy counsel on the text.
Thank you, Judge.
And that judge up there, they know what's going on. I'm transitioning and moving to Ohio, and I move it.
Judge, is it?
Judge Ballard.
Yes, sir.
Ballard?
Yes,
He's
he's aware that we had these pending.
He's understanding, and
I'll
I'm just
include him on the text also.
Thank you.
appreciate it.
What case numbers are pending that doesn't have a disposition?
22185 looks like.
That's just a probation
Is that the probation violation, Your Honor?
No. It's, well, maybe 185, 183 had the same sentence. They did have the same, he has been sentenced on that. So this is actually pretrial and reviews, so it looks like.
That's great.
Well, you've still got to do that. You know those days before this other stuff even happened. You did the jail, but not the home confinement. But they'll hook you up.
Yeah, it can be one place at a time.
Yeah, they'll hook you up.
There's still a pending case?
These are all on review, Judge.
Okay.
Or is there a pending case?
So Judge Ballard, Mr. Smith, I've already sent it to Mr. Bowen, Mr. Heald. Anyone else you'd like me to send this to, sir?
I think we're okay, Judge.
Okay.
That should cover it.
This is my first time I'm in here, so I don't know about how this
Sure.
works with state and
Well,
then municipal.
He owes 30 days home confinement.
That's correct.
Maybe we could come back, once he's completed that, for another review. I anticipate Carl will hook him up Monday when he reports anyway. You report in person, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that would be sometime in mid-February? First part of February?
Do I talk to him about that?
Yeah.
And he still has some fines and costs of this too.
You still got fines and costs here you haven't paid. You need to get those taken care of.
How about January 30th is the next hearing?
Judge, I'm in front of Judge Bouts on Monday on a trial.
27th.
I could do the 27th, yes.
January 27th will be the next hearing. And there may be a probation violation in here too.
January 27th. And he's telling Carl, you need to get hooked up on home.
It looked like we may have at least discussed dismissing the probation violation.
Okay.
We did.
Well, if he gets his stuff done, then I'm okay with that.
And I have a question, Judge, on this. This is my first time ever being in trouble. Like, I'm going up to that state, and that judge is telling me one thing, and then I'm hearing from you two, and he is aware I'm moving to Ohio right now. So I moved to Ohio, right next door, in end of this month. And they didn't say nothing about home confinement or anything like that. They said report every day.
You said it before, a long time ago.
You owed that on to this judge.
Yes.
The confinement, not Judge Ballard.
Well, okay.
But I can talk to him about it if you want me to. I've already sent him a copy of the
That's okay.
judgment entry. If you want me to have a discussion over, I see him.
Because I don't want to have two different
times a week.
I just don't want to have two different.
I'm happy to have a discussion.
I just don't want to have too many addresses on confinement. That's what I'm trying to say.
You're only going to get confined to one place. You can't
Exactly.
be confined to more than one place at a time.
Yeah, the issue judge, he was in West Virginia, but he's moving back, so they did
At
not
the end of this month.
transfer
Make it
his
easier.
probation.
Exactly what I was just saying.
Just gonna be Ohio. 27th.
The main thing you can do, Mr. Oden, is comply with what you're already ordered to do and don't get any more offenses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 files here, and apparently you've got some that common pleas too. So that's my advice to you. Don't break the law anymore, and eventually this will all work out and you go on with your life.
Yes, sir.
Until then, you gotta comply with what you're already ordered to do and get it put behind you.
Judge Ballard's report.
Yes, sir.
Report Monday to Mr. Bone's office.
Thank you,
right?
sir.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you, Judge.
State of Ohio versus Michael G. Robbins, case number TRC 221566, A and B.
27.
Okay, and I did get, I think, an email.
May we approach your honor?
Okay, I did get on that last case, I did get a response already, so. Yes. And that was Mr. Smith's case. Let's get him back in here so at least.
Hey, Roger.
No.
He went out that point.
So, because I don't think this email or this text came to you, so I wanted to put it on the record. I texted
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Bowen, and I also cover copied you on a later text to Judge Ballard.
Yes.
I got a response from Mr. Bowen that says, if you could have him report to my office, I'll have a monitor installed forthwith.
I can put them together right now,
So,
instead of Monday.
well, let's just stick with Monday.
Okay, that's his normal report date, he's telling me in probation. Okay. Well, good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Judge.
I knew I was standing up for a reason.
Okay.
And we approach your honor.
And I got to look for Mr. Robb. They did, I got a text from the VA saying they were sending a report by email, but I haven't had a chance to check the email, so. I do have it from Kimberly White. I'm just going to go ahead and I'll forward it to you. Ron at McCown Fisher.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, it's on its way. It is a letter dated today. Looks like he went to the Herschel Woody Williams inpatient program. Urine screens are negative. Next appointment is a week from today. Significant improvement over his ability to recognize his past mistakes and learn from this way I'm taking it. Okay, so I'd say it's an almost glowing report. So very good, sir.
Thank you, sir.
How's the state want to proceed?
We wanted to continue to have good reports, and we're okay with continuing the sentencing hearing to a later date to allow him to establish himself better.
Okay.
We have no objection to that, Your Honor, at this time.
All right. Good job, Mr. Robbins. This, I think, marks a much needed and appreciated improvement over past performance. So I think you really got it going the right way. You're doing what you need to, and I'm grateful for that, for you, for what it's going to mean for you and your family, and happy to see it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Keep it up. Something you got to keep working at. There's never a point where you can say, okay, I'm done with this.
Yes,
I'll
Your Honor.
never have to think about it again. You got to work at it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Keep working at it, your sobriety. So, approximately a month out, Mr. Cremings,
If we go to the 3rd, Your Honor,
February.
February, that'll be okay.
That's fine, February 3rd. Will be the next hearing for everything sentencing and status report. Okay, good job, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
State of Ohio versus Robert Heft, case number TRC 222226 A and B.
This is Mr. Steyer's case.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Excuse me.
Okay, I'm going to take it, this is a person, I'm assuming, I've got this sentence, Mr. Heft has now moved into his own apartment and has brought his biggest trigger for his drinking into the home. I'm assuming that must be some person,
Yeah,
female?
my ex-girlfriend.
Okay.
I got rid of her.
Okay, so that's changed since?
Yes. Just got me a new apartment, getting furniture delivered next Wednesday, hopefully.
So it says that this person, Patricia Bowling, is she here today? Or?
She is not, Your Honor. She's currently working with individuals right now.
So when she says she picked him up for court and he was intoxicated, is she talking about the day or?
Yes, sir.
Today?
Yeah. Well, let's have you, let's Have you go do a screen?
Sure.
Okay, go do a screen. Come back and see where that puts us.
Thank you.
State of Ohio recalls Tina Wells, case number CRA 21606, CRB 141276, and TRD 13688 A and B.
Okay, so we let the state get their files on this.
May we approach her?
Yes.
Mahajans, I do therapy with Kate at Mahajans. I do it twice a month. And I do, I see the doctor there regularly on my medications. But she does recovery counseling with me patient my
Are you willing to get assessed for a substance abuse problem?
I mean, no, I've been clean for 10 months now. Because he sent me to Spectrum. I did Spectrum all but 5 days because they put me up because I cuss.
Are you willing to be assessed?
Yes, sir.
Follow their recommendation?
Yep.
They do your screen.
They can do it. That's why I had my hips. I could take a test. Okay. Yeah, I'll be willing to take it. You're in good.
Your Honor, she is willing to be assessed and follow up with any treatment that might be recommended. She is with Mahajan.
So say, is she at Mahajan for mental health?
Mental health and free recovery. She does both with me.
Okay. Well, I'll allow you to continue there, but I need reports from them.
Okay, she was supposed to send one, but if she didn't, I can let her know.
Okay, we're gonna try that, and then if that doesn't work, then I'm gonna send you inpatient. And
I'm willing to do a drug screen if you want to drug screen me.
I'm gonna have you back in 2 weeks. I'm gonna see
That's
what your report is.
Okay, thank you.
The 20th, Mr. Morford?
Let me check, Judge. I've got a jury trial scheduled sometime around the middle of the month. I'm here on the 20th.
Okay, let's come back January 20th. I need a report from Mahajan then.
Okay.
And I'm letting you stay, because you were already at Mahajan while you were at Bethesda. You were already getting services there. All right, January 20th.
Okay.
That's your next hearing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Make sure you get that report, please. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
State of Ohio recall Stanley D. Bennett Jr., case number CRA 2646, CRC 2015-22, A and B.
Right. Mr. Net is here with, he has been at OVP, maybe still is.
Well, I didn't think I was very familiar with this case. I called, they said that he did attend one appointment, but he hasn't followed up with any other counseling appointments or anything like that after that, so he's currently non-compliant.
I missed the one Friday, when it snowed, and then I have rescheduled.
Well, she didn't tell me you had anything rescheduled. She just
I
said
know, I
that
need
you
to
hadn't been
reschedule.
back.
Yeah, I need to reschedule. That's what I was told them.
Well,
Might want to come back sooner rather than later, Judge, if we
two options.
come back.
You either get with the program.
Yes, sir.
You know, were you here when I talked about the anvil? You got an anvil over your head. You know what an anvil is?
Yes, sir.
It's a big metal thing that you can beat on.
Yes, sir.
Weighs a lot.
Yes, sir.
Because you've got a felony possession charge.
Yes, sir.
You're only here by the grace of the prosecuting attorney and myself, because by rights, you gotta go to the common police court.
Yes, sir.
Get indicted by the grand jury first, and then you
Yes.
appear in the common police court. Where you can go to prison if you're found guilty. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, I do.
Prison.
Yes, sir, I
I'm
do.
not talking about the county jail.
Oh, I know. Yeah, yes, sir, I
I'm
do.
talking about prison.
Yes, sir.
And you're messing around, taking a risk of going to prison, because you're not doing what you're supposed to do.
You're right.
You're blowing it off like it's nothing.
I mean, I'm not blowing it off, but you're right.
You went to one session. How's that not blowing it
Well,
off?
I mean, I got some things going on. My aunt died, my grandma, their state's
No, I don't.
taking my property.
If your aunt was here, she would say, don't use me as an.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No.
You're just making it worse. So
I'm not.
you better just shut up and stop with the excuses.
Yes, sir.
That's your problem. Everything that's said, you got an excuse for it.
Yes, sir.
I don't want excuses.
Yes, sir.
I don't care how many grandmas die, how many aunts die, you get into treatment.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hill, or
Well-
maybe you want to take it to the grand jury now.
Well, I wanted to remind the court that he's already pled to an OVI, and he's got time that the court could, in the county jail anyway, that could be imposed at any time.
True.
But I'm,
6 months.
I'm gonna do it. I mean, I appreciate y'all helping me out. I do, honestly.
I don't know how much we've helped you because we've been letting you get by with this for too long. Is OVP still willing to work with him?
I'm sure they will, yeah, as long as he can be in compliance and show up to his appointments.
I will.
Okay, Mr. Smith, I want sooner than later, when?
I'm here 2 weeks, Judge, the 20th.
Okay. I want a glowing report on the 20th as to what you've been doing.
Yes,
No
sir.
excuses.
Yes, sir.
Don't even think about making an excuse why you couldn't do something.
Oh, yeah.
This is your #1 priority.
You're right.
I don't care what happens with your family. I've already heard the excuses. You started telling me your grandma died, your aunt died.
No.
I want to see, like, I don't care, but I don't care. You've already played those cards. Don't even think about it.
Yes, sir.
COVID, nothing. I don't care about COVID. You get into treatment.
Yes, sir.
Or you're going to the grand jury. And
Yes,
then you can talk to Mr. Smith, he can explain this to you. you have a 50% chance of going to prison. Do you feel lucky?
No, I'm not lucky.
And if you
Okay,
have trouble
then-
getting to the appointments or anything like that, OVP offers transportation.
Okay,
They'll do
that's
Zoom
good, yeah.
videos, so there's really no excuse for you
Okay,
to not do
see, I
your
didn't know that.
appointments.
Yeah, because I don't have a license or anything.
You just have to reach out and ask, and we will
Yeah,
get you
okay.
there.
Okay, thank you. I
The next
appreciate it.
hearing, Your Honor, we're going to ask
I
for
didn't know
6
that.
months in jail to be imposed immediately unless he has a glowing report.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Sounds fair to me.
you know what you gotta do, you know you can't make any excuses, and this lady just said, you can't use transportation excuse because they'll
Oh,
come
yeah.
pick you up.
Yeah, that's fine. Yes, sir. You're right.
January 20th.
Yes,
See
sir.
what you do.
All right. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
State of Ohio recalls Robert Heft, case number TRC 222226 A and B.
Well, he didn't screen for any drugs, but I think that's not the problem.
No, I don't do drugs.
We not have a screen for alcohol? Does anybody smell his breath? I mean, I've got a report from somebody this morning said he was intoxicated.
Well, Patty, my counselor, came pick me up.
Yeah, she's the one that says you were intoxicated.
6 o'clock this morning.
She questioned why he smelled alcohol. He stated he drank because he was going to jail today.
No, I told her, I said I might go to jail today, but I didn't say I drunk. I'm doing everything he asked me to do.
Well, that's not what this says.
Excuse me.
Your Honor, he has a new home and he is concerned that he's going to lose that home. Should he have to go into inpatient treatment, he won't be able to maintain his home. He had been living in, I believe.
Shelter.
Well, and even before that, you were living at the.
I was living at a friend of mine's house, then I went to the shelter.
He had been couch surfing. I think at one time he was at the Country Hearth.
Yeah.
When this started, I believe he might have been at the Country Hearth. Then he was in the shelter for a period of time. He's actually gotten established with a home at this point. And going into inpatient treatment puts that at risk. My fear is that should he go into inpatient treatment, we're going to end up with him back in homelessness.
I don't want that.
Well, I don't want that either, but he's already pled guilty. He has jail time he has to do. Because even if it's a first offense, and he's got multiple offenses, but what's the state? The last one I see was in 2015, so I don't know if that's inside the look-back period. Probably not, so it probably is technically a first offense.
No, that would be within 10 years. It's a 10-year look back, so
Okay.
it is a second and 10, and it's a high score. And it's a 7th lifetime. So, but that was really what was the decision to try to get him to be successful in treatment. And he's struggling at this point. And honestly, I mean, my notes from previous hearings were either good or mixed reports. So I don't know whether this is something where he's going to be able to actually.
Still going.
Well, let's back up in the report, and this one is dated actually yesterday, January 5th. Mr. Heft's weekly requirements consist of 2 group counseling sessions, 1 individual, along with random screenings. Last day of service was January 3rd. He did submit an instant urinalysis that rendered positive for alcohol. That was on January 3rd. He submitted to a send-off urinalysis to Gravity Diagnostics on January 3rd, which confirmed the instant screen results. The Gravity Diagnostics results did in fact detect gabapentin, which is currently prescribed. You're not taking buprenorphine, are you?
No, I don't do, no. I take gabapentin for my seizures.
Actually, Your Honor, I would revise what I said before. I guess he had one, what would be considered a good report, but either not good or at least mixed since then, so he struggled.
I'm trying my butt off. I'm doing everything you asked me to do. I'm trying.
No, you're not.
It does
You
say-
tested positive for alcohol January 3rd.
But that was for New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, sorry.
Oh, okay. You
Sorry,
did a
sorry,
test for New Year's
sorry.
Day.
Sorry,
I don't think so.
It does state on here that there's a small amount of regression, but he continues to stay compliant with the treatment plan requirements for attendance. I understand these are not the results we are looking for, but I've certainly seen worse results.
Well, I
And
don't
with
see
his,
any reason that he shouldn't go to jail today. I mean, he's got jail time coming. He hasn't done what he was supposed to do. There's no way around it. He's got to go to jail.
I'd
So
like
I'm
to
gonna
try
go
to
ahead
get
and
my,
sentence him on the OBI.
I'd like to try to
Anything
get
you want to
my,
say before I sentence you?
I'd like to try to get my things in order, so,
No, you're going to jail today.
okay, sorry, Your Honor.
You messed up.
I tried everything, I'm
No,
doing
you
everything.
didn't. Don't even say that. Okay, on the OBI, you pled guilty to it a long time ago, and I was giving you a chance to show me that you were
Yes,
going to
sir.
be successful, but you just keep getting
Yes,
these
sir.
reports, and then, so, you gotta do the jail.
I
You're
know.
gonna have to do it anyway, why delay it any longer?
I know.
Okay, this was, like Mr. Wood said, a 7th offense, lifetime. The last one was in 2015, and he tested 21, more than twice the legal limit. So, $1,000 fine.
Your Honor, is that going to be a second offense? What is considered?
Second offense. $1,000 fine. Court costs. 30 days in jail with 20 suspended. And I'm giving you a break there because
Thank you very much.
if you read the statute, it says it's on a high test with a second, the minimum's 20, unless the judge finds that the jail's overcrowded, which you're gonna find out, and maybe you already know, it is overcrowded.
Yes, it is.
It is way overcrowded, so then I can give you 10 days in jail and electronic home monitoring, which is what I'm gonna do. So he gets 10 days in jail, 2 years of level 4 probation. He's reporting today. He gets, it's 18, I think. Let me check.
Excuse me.
Home monitoring. No, I'm sorry. It's more than that. Yeah, no, that's right. 18 days of electronic home monitoring, which you don't have the ability to pay for, so the taxpayers get to pay for that. And I'm going to suspend the balance of the jail time on the provision that you go back into treatment once you get out of jail and that you get good reports.
Oh, you'll get it.
He has to do 60 hours of community service.
Your Honor?
Yes.
Can I say something? Jeff Cremines in the city mission said if you would allow me, he would let me do community service there, because I'm right there in Iron.
Mr. Cooper?
I would make a phone call and check into that, Your Honor.
Where's your apartment now?
It's on 216 South 4th.
Oh, so it is in the city.
It's Iron, yes, it's right there.
Well, we let people work there and do their community service, so that's a possibility. I'm not saying Mr. Cooper would have to check into it. You're going to meet with him today when we finish in here, and then we're going to have to make arrangements for him to be transported to jail.
Your Honor, just for you, it's 10 days jail, but it will be the balance suspended, completed. What is the, so it's.
I believe it was 30 days with
30
20
days.
suspended.
So he's got 20 suspended. 60 hours community service, he's to complete treatment. Yes, so that's correct what you got on there. Review hearing, let's make it in a month, so February the 6th is your next review hearing date.
I'll be here.
into the license. Let's see what, that's the D case. Okay, so it was unclassified misdemeanor type, so $100 fine on that. That's it. I won't give him any community service on that. Okay, so back to the holding cell, make arrangements to get him transported.
Your Honor, so what was the fine on the total?
100.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well,
Thank you.
State of Ohio versus Davin Tippett, case number TRC 222344 A and B.
all right, Mr. Tippett is appearing by teleconference. His attorney is here in person. Mr. Hall.
Yes, Your Honor, the last time there was issue, Mr. Tippett had to, I believe I communicated that to court, he had to work over, and that was not communicated, and that's why I asked for a continuance last time, but he's here today. Oh, I didn't know about that until this morning. So okay. Your Honor, there's some new discovery that just came out, that came to light today. We do have the ALS appeal, but I can get it, Mr. Hills let me know, I can make a copy. We would waive time. And I'll fill out the form for that, and we can come back in a few weeks if the court's okay with that.
That's fine. That's the 20th. Is that the day you want? Did you say 2 weeks?
I'll be here the 23rd. Would that work with you, Mr. Tippett, the 23rd?
Yes. Okay, at the defendant's request, this case is continued for another pre-trial, January 23rd, 10 o'clock. And you're out of the area, is that correct, sir?
He's in Lexington, Your Honor. Yes.
Okay, so you can appear by blue jeans like you are today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, any questions, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, that's all.
State of Ohio versus Travis L. Salyers, case number CRA 22418, CRA 22791. Lori Lee Banks Lori Lynn Banks is on deck next at the Lawrence County Jail.
May I press on?
Yes. Okay, this is Mr. Morford's case. Is Mr. Morford still here? Yes.
You want to change? To where? What is it? Where's that?
It's here in South Point. They're here with me. There's one, because of medical issues.
Where they look at?
In South Point.
It must be brain thinking.
Where y'all located? Possibly.
Inpatient?
Yeah, but I'm not on probation.
Do they have inpatient stuff?
Yeah. I'm on the ankle. I ain't got surgery.
Judge, he's indicated to me he wants to consider, the court to consider allowing him to change providers to Regal.
Yeah.
No.
And
No.
No, it's not changing. His choices are to stay where he is, or he can leave this court and go to the, I understand he already has a case of common pleas, does he not?
What is it?
Do you have a case of common pleas or just these two pending?
Just these two.
But they're felonies, so they can go on the common pleas, then you can go down there and ask that judge to let you change. Because that's where your case is gonna go if you're not compliant.
I've been going to every meeting and stuff.
You tested positive for methamphetamine.
Yeah, I messed up.
And you got two pending felony charges of possession of methamphetamine. So what is it? Here's your choice. You stay where you are.
Okay.
Wait to the grand jury.
I'll stay where I'm at.
Good choice.
buy into this program.
If you're an observant person, hopefully you learn some things by sitting here and watching other people's mistakes today. There's a lot of people in your same situation, and you've seen what happened to them, right? You want to be one of those people?
No.
It's hard to learn from other people's mistakes, but it's a very valuable thing to do. A lot of times people can't even learn from their own mistakes. You may be one of them because you had this possession of methamphetamine in the summer, then you had another one in the fall. So whatever we got to do, that's the problem, not the folks that are trying to help you. The error is the problem, and you got to admit that first. Not that I want to have my cell phone and be able to use it when I want to use it.
No, it's my medical issues, Your Honor.
Okay, you want to go to the grand jury? I'll let these cases go to the grand jury. You can argue that to Judge Finley or Judge Bauer.
I'll stay where I'm at.
Like, it's supposed to be decided by law who you get. I can't tell you who you're going to get. They're going to draw a number, and you're going to get one of those two judges, and then you can go argue to them. I'll be totally out of it.
I'll stay where I'm at.
Okay, then you're going to do what I told you to do. And you need to change your attitude. Until you invest in this and say, this is for my good, I gotta adopt this, I gotta make this my number one priority and not do it begrudgingly, it's not gonna work. I've seen a lot of people go through this, so I think I know a little bit about it. You gotta adopt this as your number one priority. I know you got a fiance, and apparently you care a lot about her, and that's good, that's fine, but your recovery right now has gotta be number one, not her. Not getting to talk to her on the phone, or texting her, or whatever. Number one is your recovery. Nothing else is gonna work. Then after that, then when you get in recovery, then maybe you can start elevating her up there beside your recovery. Your recovery's gotta stay at the top all the time. But maybe you can get her off of number 2 up to like 1A or 1B. But right now, methamphetamine, you get out on the street, one, you don't even know that it's meth.
Yeah.
You think you're getting meth, you don't know what you're getting. Overdoses are higher than they've ever been. So you gotta figure out a way that you're not gonna want to use this, or you got a way not to use it in the future. And this is your chance. You're getting thousands and thousands of dollars worth of counseling right now. And I'm assuming you're not paying for it. Are you?
No.
Well, take advantage of it. You've also got 2 felonies, 2 cases. I'm going to suspect that maybe one of the judges down there say, well, this guy's got 2 felonies. He needs to go to prison for a while. Do you want to take that chance?
No, yeah.
You got a chance to get into treatment. You're in treatment, get in recovery, get your cases, at least the felonies, which are the most serious, dismissed. Won't even have a record. But you're messing around because of a cell phone. Because, you're taking a chance on getting a conviction because you want to use your cell phone. Not very smart. Your priorities are not right where they need to be.
I understand.
Okay, so we're going to come back, and what am I going to see? A really good report and no more testing positive for anything that you're not supposed to test for, right?
Right.
Are you willing to take him back?
We are.
And you'll let me know if he messes up?
You know I will.
She texts me, and it doesn't matter what time it is, she'll text me, or call me, and let me know. And sometimes I just say, call the sheriff. Donna, I say, call the sheriff, they come pick you up. She won't tell you, but here comes the sheriff's deputy, you're getting in the patrol car and going to the jailhouse.
Or Gary, you can send Gary after him when the bond's.
Yeah, you do have that possibility. So that's if you're there messing up, I just call the sheriff and have them come pick him up. And if that happens, you're going to the grand jury, you're not coming back here. This court, and I've said this before, and I think we need to have on a plaque or something. This court is for people who want to get clean. You sat here and watched. I got too many people to deal with. If you don't want to get clean, go down to the other court where they got bigger hammers. They can send you to prison. They can send you to STAR for people that don't want to do what they're supposed to. I don't know if that'll make you clean, but even if you go to STAR, right now, you're not, is there a big fence around Bethesda?
No.
Is there somebody there telling you what to do 24/7?
Yes.
Okay, you got that. But can you leave anytime you want to? They're not going to tackle you or tase you or anything if you try to leave.
No, kind of out of my pay scale.
You go to STAR, you're not leaving, even if you want to leave. Even if they take your cell phone, won't let you talk to your mommy or your fiance or whatever, they don't care. You're basically in prison, but it's not as bad as prison. That's the next step, but that's still a possibility. You get the right judge and you may be splitting prison wide open. And there's some pretty tough people in prison I wouldn't want to have to deal with.
I've been to prison.
Okay, so you know what it's about.
Yeah.
Don't you want to avoid that?
Yeah.
At all costs?
Yeah, I got 5 kids. So.
Okay. What's the Okay. I'm going to get on a rant about that too. How old are your kids?
I got a newborn over there, 6 weeks old, and I got a 4-year-old, 6-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 10-year-old.
Would you ever want them to use methamphetamine in the future?
No.
No, okay. Absolutely not. All right? Well, we know from studies, like, you know what, you want to increase, there's no way of guaranteeing that won't happen. But you know there's a good way to guarantee there's a higher chance that it's going to happen? You keep using. You keep using, and you just increase the chances that your kids are going to use down the road. That's statistics. There's no way around that. You want to lessen the chance that they're ever going to use drugs, right?
Yeah.
You get clean. You just knock the chances down that they're ever going to use drugs by you getting clean. You modeling that behavior to them. You have drugs in your household. Maybe not now, they don't know where it is, but I guarantee you that when you're 12, you can't have drugs in the house and your kids not know it.
I understand.
You think back when you were a kid, your parents probably thought they had stuff that you didn't know about. You knew about, if you're a 12-year-old kid, you know everything that's in that house. And you know where it is.
Yeah.
And you know what my good friend Todd Davies, who teaches addiction at the Marshall Medical School and also does a lot of data compilation from treatment facilities, you know what he says age is for first drug usage in the tri-state for most treatment centers? 6th grade. 6th grade, that's when kids first have their first experience with drugs. Well, I'd say a lot of those are because their parents have got drugs in the house and they know where they are. So why don't they try to dabble with it a little bit? So, you want to be a good father, you got to get clean. You want to be a good husband, I'm assuming you're wanting to marry this lady, you got to get clean. She's the mother of your child too, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
You getting clean is #1 job. Being able to talk to her on the phone for a few months or whatever it is.
63 days.
60 days. That's nothing in the terms of your life. You guys, you're a man now. 5 kids and using methamphetamine. You got to buck up and be a real man. A real man doesn't use drugs.
I understand.
Quit being a fake man. I want to see you back January 30th.
No, do you want the 23rd preliminary change?
Okay.
Set for January 23rd.
Let's just keep that. You already had a hearing date for January 23rd. We'll keep it.
So not the 30th?
No, 23rd. See you even sooner. No more whining, complaining, trying to get out of stuff. I want you need to be an example. What I want to hear is that you're an example to the other folks at Bethesda. That's going to tell me that you're really on board with doing this, is when you start helping other people. There's people we got plenty of people coming behind you who are in the same shape you are. You need to help yourself and help other people, and then you can help your family. Okay, see you on January 23rd.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
State of Ohio versus Lori Lynn Banks, case number CRA 2231, and Thomas G. Clay is on deck, Lawrence County Jail.
Okay, let me start the recording.
Recording has started.
Ma'am, are you Lori Banks?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Banks, I'm Judge Capper at the Lawrence County Municipal Court in Chesapeake. This is what's called your arraignment hearing. You are appearing in court today on well, I'm old, so I call it a television monitor. It's a big computer monitor is what it is, actually. You're appearing in the courtroom by teleconference, so everything, your image and everything you say is all being recorded. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
So what you say can be used against you. If you suddenly admit something about this case, the prosecutor's sitting right here listening to it, he can use it against you down the road. So you don't have to say anything. You can remain silent. You have that right. You have a right to have an attorney, to have one appointed if you can't afford one. You have a right to bail. You have a right to make the state prove any charge beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand these rights?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we must have another microphone open or something back there. Okay, thank you, because we were getting a lot of extraneous noise. Okay, I'm going to go over the charge with you. It's a theft offense. It alleges that at Perry Township on March the 4th of 2020, so this is an old case, March 4th of 2020, you purposely deprived Donald Swan of property being $1,000 by deception. Oh, actually it says it was more than $1,000, but less than $7,500. So that's a felony 4. Maximum penalty is 18 months in jail and a $5,000 fine. Do you understand the charge?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand the rights I explained to you?
Yes, sir.
Do you have the money to hire a lawyer?
Not on me. I can get, if I can post bond, I can get it.
Well, I can appoint a lawyer for you if you qualify financially. Do you want to be considered for a court-appointed lawyer, or do you want to hire your own lawyer?
Court appointed son. I don't really know. I've never really been in trouble, so I don't really know what to do.
Okay, that's why I'm going to try to help you through this. I can appoint a lawyer for you if you meet the financial requirements. So I have to ask you about your income. Do you work? Do you have a job?
Not right now, no.
So you don't have any income?
Not at the moment.
Okay,
We're
well,
on.
that,
We don't start back counting stores until probably the 15th, 18th of January.
so you will have a job then?
Yes, sir.
And where is that?
It's for Wiz International. We do inventory.
Okay, so is that something you do on a regular basis?
Yes, after December, where we look for the IRS.
Are you paid by the hour, or how do you get paid?
By the hour,
How much per hour?
15.
Okay, how many hours a week do you work? Right now, in January, you're not working any right now, right?
No, it's about 40 when we get back to work though.
Okay. Do you file an income tax return?
Yes, I do.
Do you know what your gross income is? Because that's what I have to determine, your gross annual income.
I'm not. No,
Well-
I haven't filed this year yet. Just
Well-
wait on the W-2s.
So if you're making $15 an hour, that's roughly $30,000 a year. Is that, if you work full-time all year, do you think that's about what your gross is, or is it less than that?
That's probably about that.
Do you have anyone that's a dependent on your income?
No, sir.
You're a single person?
I am.
Do you have any money saved?
A little bit, not a whole lot.
Well, how much is a little bit?
Probably 500.
And when's the last time you worked?
The beginning of December.
So you've been off a month and a half?
Yes, that's where all my savings went to.
Is that typical? So
Yes.
Every year you work only maybe 10 and a half months, something like that? You don't work a
Yes,
full
sir.
year? Okay. Well, I'm going to find you're eligible then, because that brings you down pretty close to what the limit is. So I'll appoint Mr. Stratton to represent you. He's here in the courtroom. He's heard all this.
Before I met my wife, she worked for Wiz International too.
Okay. Well, you got some experience there, huh? I've got an East Lynn, West Virginia address for you, Ms. Banks. Is that a correct address?
Yes, sir.
217 Wright Fork.
Yes, sir.
What's the state's position on bond for Ms. Banks?
That was a concern, her address, she lives a little bit a ways from here, and also the fact that the case was filed back in March, so I'm assuming that the reason why she's never found is because she lives in East Lynn.
Is that Wayne County or Lincoln County?
Wayne.
Wayne. But
I haven't
that's WOW. That's not OW, that's WOW, right? Is it past
Yes.
Wayne? It's past Wayne, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Anything past Wayne is WOW. Up to the courthouse in Wayne is OW.
Okay.
So, Your Honor, the allegation is that she took $1,000 from a gentleman, and that would qualify it obviously as a felony, which we'll just go ahead and take on to the grand jury if she doesn't show up to the next hearing. And if she does show up, we in the process are going to make contact with the gentleman who's the alleged victim to make sure that we can find him and that we know what the exact value is and things of that nature, so we can discuss the case intelligently when we have our preliminary. And we wouldn't care if they wanted to waive time to give us a little bit more time to make sure because of the fact that this case originated almost a year ago, we want to make sure that we know how to contact. 2 years ago.
3 years ago. 3 years.
So that's going to be an issue for us to need to.
I think there's no reason to allow her, to keep her in jail at this point, Your Honor, and allow her out, but we would have no problem waiving time.
Yeah, and I didn't say that. We are okay with no R bond, as long as she understands that this is a felony and needs to be dealt with.
Let me explain something to you. Well, first of all, Mr. Stratton probably would like to have your phone number.
Yeah,
Do you have a phone number where you can be reached, ma'am, once you're out of jail?
Yes, 304-544-1317.
That's a cell phone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's your cell phone?
Yes, sir.
And do you have it? Is it at the jail there? Or?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you'll be getting it back once you leave. Well, let me explain to you, some of this is a little bit complicated legal stuff, but your charge, there's two types of charges. There's misdemeanors and felonies. A felony is a more serious charge, and it means if you're convicted, you could go to prison on a felony. You're charged with a felony because of the amount. But as I'm reading between the lines, the state may be willing to reduce it to a misdemeanor under certain circumstances, but right now it's a felony. The other thing that means is when you're charged with a felony, a warrant on a felony is good anywhere in the United States. So even if you decide, well, that's over in Ohio, so I'm just going to stay here in East Lynn and hang out, and there's nothing they can do to me. No, you would get arrested on the warrant, and we just had this happen, so I can speak knowingly. Then you're going to go to the Western Regional Jail, and you are going to sit there, what was it, almost 4 weeks before they have a hearing. Probably, well, they might be faster in Wayne County. I know Judge Young, and he's a little bit quicker than the Cabell County judge. But you're going to wait a while in Cabell. Well, the jail's actually in Cabell County, but it's Western Regional, but it would be for Wayne County. Then they'll transfer you over here, and none of that time's really going to help you any. So, long story short, I'm letting you out on your signature of your promise to come to court. And if you don't come, you're going to wind up sitting in jail wasting time. So the best thing you do is come back to court, and I think Mr. Stratton would agree with that.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll be there.
Okay.
What's the amount of the OR bond?
I'm going to make it a $2,000 signature bond. So what that means is you don't have to post $2,000 right now. You're just promising that you will come to court, and if you don't, then you have to pay $2,000 once you get arrested for not coming to court.
When is court?
Well, I'm about to set that. I haven't set it yet.
Okay.
I'm going to pick a
I just
day.
want to make sure I didn't miss it.
Yeah, and this is the Lawrence County Municipal Court. You're in Lawrence County, and just put municipal court after that. If you want to call, or if you have a computer, we have a website. You can go on there and see your case. You can go on there and see when it's set for. There's no excuses not to get to court when you're supposed to. And the court...
No, I'll be there.
The court is in Chesapeake. You know where Chesapeake is?
Yes, sir.
on County Road 1, which is old US 52, not too far from the downtown bridge in Huntington, about a mile and a half maybe from the downtown bridge, back toward
Is
Ironton.
that by South Point?
Well, it's between,
Is that by there?
it's closer to Chesapeake. It's not, it's
Okay.
probably a half a mile out of the Chesapeake village limits, but South Point is 6 or 7 miles on down the road.
Ask her where the flea market is. if
Do you
she-
know where the flea market is in Chesapeake?
I think so.
Where the old,
I know where the.
old drive-in used to
school
be?
is.
Chesapeake School? We're on the same road, but it's a little further west than us.
My son played football there.
Okay, well, it's within a mile of there, on the same road, back toward
I know
Huntington.
where you're at.
Okay, you gotta be here, and let's pick a date. What's good for you, Mr. Stratton?
Well, I asked the prosecutor, they said a couple of weeks, so I
That's
was,
the 20th. You wanna do it then, or?
well, I was thinking maybe, maybe the 3rd, if it was okay with the court.
February 3rd?
Yes.
Can you get, you'll be back at work then, does it matter if it's a Monday or Friday for you, ma'am?
No, I'll take off gladly to go to court.
Okay, all right, and the state's agreeable February 3rd?
Yes, Your Honor. We'd also like to know when she came into custody.
When did you come into the jail, ma'am?
Yesterday.
Did you get arrested in West Virginia first, or in Ohio?
No, I was in a vehicle that got pulled over.
Okay,
I wasn't driving or nothing, just riding.
Okay.
yeah.
I'll call you this afternoon and I'll also text you the date.
So that's February the 3rd, that's a Friday, February 3rd at 10 a.m.
Yes.
So you gotta be at the court
Thank you.
February 3rd at 10 a.m. in
Yes, sir.
Chesapeake.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
State of Ohio versus Thomas G. Clay, case number CRA 18383, and David Fettig is on deck.
Thomas Clay is in for missing a review hearing. Well, actually, it was set for today.
This is a review here, so we have another one set for today.
You're still doing stuff in Gary County?
No, I'm in Lawrence County Jail. I ain't been released yet. I got sentenced to 18 months in prison.
Oh, you got sentenced to prison? By who?
Common police court, my family.
Okay. Well, you had a domestic that is now is 5 years old, and looks like you didn't pay off all of your fines, so you paid some of it. Unless the state really objects, I'm just gonna finish it by the jail time he's gonna serve.
We're not affected.
Okay, so I'm going to complete your case here by jail time.
Okay, do I get any more jail time or?
No, not for me. You'll have to just answer to Judge Finley.
Alright, yeah, I have 18 months to do for her. We're just ready to be wrote out whenever they do write me out.
You don't have anything left in Gowdy County? I thought you had Gowdy County issues too.
No, I finished all the stuff in Gary County.
Okay, well, you're done in my court now too.
Alright, that's good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Alright, bye-bye.
State of Ohio versus David Fettig, case number CRB 2310, and Jonathan Jarvis is on deck.
Okay, so this is a new charge for David Fettig.
It's been a long time.
Yes, sir. You didn't have to come back this way.
I didn't expect to come back this way. If I could get bailed out, I could pay it off fine or whatever I need to do.
Okay, well, there's some things we gotta do on this. So you are David Fettig, correct?
Yes.
You've got a domestic violence charge, so I'm gonna go over that with you, and it was faxed down to the jail at 10 o'clock this morning, so you should, I don't know if you have it, but you should get a copy of the charge. Do you have a copy?
I'll forgive you if I get out of here.
Well, wait a minute, you're jumping the gun. jumping the gun on me, so let me go through it and you just answer my questions. And do you understand you have a right to remain silent? You don't have to say anything? If you do say things, what you say is on the record, it can be used against you. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You have a right to bail, you have a right to an attorney, you have a right to make the state prove any charge beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, you're charged with domestic violence. And the complaint alleges that on January the 5th of this year, you knowingly caused or tried to cause physical harm to Bethany Spurlock, and that she's either a member of your household or a member of your family. So that's why it's domestic violence. So the maximum penalty for that is 6 months in jail and a $1,000 fine. That's the most that can happen.
Right.
You understand?
Well, so I gotta get a eviction notice for them.
Okay. Well, that's a separate issue, but you understand this charge has been filed against you.
Yes.
How do you want to plead to it?
Depends on if I can get out of here today or not.
Well, you don't get to negotiate that. You have to plead.
I'll plead guilty.
Okay.
This is misdemeanor on my record, so.
Well, if you plead guilty, you're admitting this is true and waiving the right to have a trial and a lawyer. Are you sure you want to do that?
Well, yes.
Okay. All right, well, there's a pretty lengthy affidavit, so I'm going to read it. And then you can hear what the officer wrote in the affidavit. It was Deputy Wes Barker. And then if you want to say...
I don't know what was wrote. I don't know what they wrote.
Well, that's why I'm going to read it to you. Then you'll know.
Well, please do.
Okay, read it, listen, and then if you want to say something, you can. This is the deputy, says, on January the 5th of 23, I was dispatched, and he gives an address for a domestic. I arrived and was met by David Fetty in the driveway and advised that this was his house, and he had 2 other occupants in the house, and he had told them to leave. Asked him if they lived there with him, and he said they were homeless, and he let them stay there. Asked him how long they'd been staying there, and he said it had been a while. I told David that since they had lived with him, he would have to evict them. I asked him what had happened before I got there, and he said that he got in an argument, and he stated, I'm not going to lie to you, I did hit her. David told me that he had a knife on his belt and said that I can remove it if I wanted. I removed the knife off his belt and seen that he had a knife clipped to his pocket, and I removed it as well. I placed the knives in my patrol car and asked David if I could search him for more weapons. He said I could. David then began to reach into his pocket. I told him to stop. He continued to reach in his pocket and pulled something out in his hand. I grabbed a hold of his hand and went to place it behind his back, and he began to stiffen up. And he put the item in his hand on the car and told me, nope, don't put me in handcuffs. I told David to stop and leaned him up against the car in the driveway. He stated he did not know if he had any more weapons on him or not. Didn't want me to get poked or anything, and that is why he reached into his pocket. I explained to David that I'd already gotten weapons off of him, and when I went to see if he had any more, that he began to reach his pocket after being told to stop, and that raised concerns for safety. He said he understood that. Then went to place David in the patrol car, and he began to get competitive, didn't want to walk, saying he wanted his things before getting in the car. I had to walk him to the car, and he sat in it and left his legs out of the car. Told him to place his legs in the car. He said he did not until he got his things and placed his legs in the car and shut the door. I then went and talked to Bethany Spurlock, who advised she lives there with her girlfriend, stated David hit her in the face. She began to explain that David was intoxicated and that they had gotten in an argument. He began to sling his arms around and he hit her. Bethany said she didn't want to press charges, that he's a good guy. Myself and Sergeant Hanshaw told Bethany he was going to be taken to jail. Okay, end of statement. All right, do you have anything else, Mr. Heald?
That's the same information that we have, Your Honor.
Anything you want to say, Mr. Fetty? You want to say? Okay. Are you related to any of the Fettys in Proctorville?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't want to claim them? I went to Mrs. Fetty's preschool when I was 5. That's before they had kindergarten. It was right on the banks of the mighty Ohio River in Proctorville. She wasn't a relative of yours?
I was trying to do all good. I mean, I should have let him stay my place in the first place. That's all I ain't saying. I have to do everything legal now to get him out of there.
No good deed goes unpunished.
You guys get an eviction notice.
Yeah, you can get one here at this court. What's the state's position on sentencing for Mr. Fetty?
The last paragraph indicates that the young lady or whoever she is that was the victim in this didn't want to press charges.
Right.
We haven't spoken with her directly to know whether that's still her opinion or not. However, it probably is.
Do you have a contact number for her? Or?
We can try again. We've tried and couldn't get a hold of her. We'd like to know what that is, and also where Mr. Fetty's going to go when he's released from jail if these two individuals are still occupying the house, because we are going to ask for a protection order until we hear otherwise.
Do you have a place?
I understand that.
Do you have a place to go to other than your house?
Yes, sir, I sure do.
Where is that?
My sisters or one of my friends right down the road.
What's your sister's?
I will stay with her.
What's your
Amy
sister?
Short. She works at Wendy's.
Okay.
Amy Short.
We're going to try to get a hold of Bethany and see what she's saying, if she wants you ordered to stay away. So we're going to have you, I'm going to let the prosecutor make some
I
phone
promise you I'll stay away.
Well, I've been promised a lot of things in my life, and some of them don't happen.
I'm more worried about having a seizure.
Okay, so we'll have you back after I've let them make some phone calls. So let the next person up, and then we'll bring you back later.
All right. State of Ohio versus Jonathan Jarvis, case number CRB 23-9, and Michael Rose on deck.
Sir, are you Jonathan Jarvis?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jarvis, I'm Judge Capper at the Lawrence County Municipal Court. This is your arraignment hearing. It's all being done by teleconference. Obviously, you're appearing in court on a screen. It's all being recorded. You don't have to say anything, but if you choose to make statements, it's all going on the record. It could be used against you if you admit something that's damaging to your case. You have a right to have an attorney. You have a right to have one appointed. You have a right to bail, to make the state prove any charge beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
You're charged with a theft offense. It's alleged that you, on January the 3rd, in Fayette Township, you tried to deprive Walmart of property without their consent. It's a first-degree misdemeanor. Maximum penalty, 6 months in jail, $1,000 fine. That's the most that can happen if you're found guilty. Do you understand the charge?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand your rights?
Yes, sir.
How do you plead to this charge?
I could possibly make arrangements to take care of this, get out of here, make preparations, whatever I gotta do. I'll be guilty to it.
Well, you don't get to put conditions on your plea.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to necessarily put conditions on it. I was just saying, if I just say I'm willing to, more than willing to, sir.
Okay, so you're telling me you're going to enter a guilty plea, is that correct?
To that charge, yes, sir.
Okay, I'll accept your guilty plea. I've got an affidavit from Jeremy Hanshaw, who is at the sheriff's office. He says he was dispatched to Walmart for a theft offense. When he got there, he met with the loss prevention employee at Walmart who advised them that 2 people he had stopped and already let them go. He had the monitors up and was following a male and advised that the man had concealed baseball cards in his coat. I was able to see the bulge on the inside of the coat and the man walking around the monitor. We continued to watch the male push a buggy around Walmart, and he put items from the buggy back. Then the man left the buggy in an aisle and began to walk to the grocery side exit doors. After he passed the last point of purchase, I stepped out of the office and began to escort the man to the office. The man tried to run out the exit door. Myself and Debbie Barker continued to attempt to get the man under control. He broke free and ran out the front door. I deployed a taser, hitting the man's coat with no effect. Second cartridge, while he was shedding his coat off and still running, it failed. Deputy Barker fired off the taser twice, making good connection with the second round, knocking the man to the ground. We secured him in cuffs, walking back to the store. He was identified as Jonathan Jarvis from Kentucky. There was 15 packs of baseball cards in his coat. He was checked for injuries, only had a minor abrasion on his left arm and side from the blacktop. He was transported to Lawrence County Jail. Okay, anything you want to say?
And not at this time, no, sir.
What's the state's position on sentencing?
Your Honor, he's been in jail since, it looks like January the 3rd when this happened.
Right.
So this is the third day, and I think.
I suspect that was for running.
Well, and you know, and the reason we didn't file resisting was because we didn't get an affidavit that would allow us to file the charge. But nonetheless, that's still a serious thing. Sometimes, you know, it's a situation where a person feels like they've had their civil rights violated because there had to be force used against them. And that's a good, this is a good place to resolve those issues as far as the fact that even though we're not filing that charge, we feel that the force was justified.
Sounds like it.
And if we would agree that he's done enough jail time today, you know, we would want him to acknowledge on the record that, yeah, he understands why force was used against him because he tried to run away.
Okay, could you hear what the prosecutor said, sir?
Yes, sir.
Do you agree with him?
I do agree with him. I acknowledge why that force was used.
Okay, so you probably turned, because you wanted to plead guilty initially. You said you would plead guilty if you could get out of jail. The truth is, you probably would have gotten, well, I don't know, since you're from Kentucky, I don't know if they would have released you, but you certainly upped the chances that you would go to jail by running. So, because normally on these shoplifting, I give people suspended jail sentences and community service to do. So, you probably caused you not to get released by what happened. You could have been charged with resisting arrest, actually. So they chose not to do that. So anyway, anything else you want to tell me, sir, before I sentence you?
No, sir.
Okay, I'm going to give you a $100 fine and court costs, 10 days in jail. I'll suspend 7 days, and I'll give you credit for 3 days you've already served. I'm going to order that you do 5 days of community service on the court's community service program. And here's the big one. I'm going to order that you stay out of all Walmarts. So
I can handle that.
Especially if you're going to shoplift. If you want to get caught, going to Walmart is the place to do it because they will catch you.
I know that now.
You have a review hearing on August the 4th of 23. So you got to pay this fine and court costs, or you got to stay out of Ohio. You come over here, you're going to be subject to getting arrested if you don't do this stuff. If you take care of business, then you can freely come and go from Ohio. If not, we won't come to Kentucky and drag you back over here. Don't get in the car and ride with your friend over here, because then if they speed and you get pulled over, we just had that happen, you're going to go to jail. Because you'll have a warrant outstanding for not taking care of what you're ordered to do.
Your Honor, he has a holder out of common pleas.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm told that you've got problems in the court across the street too, so you're not getting out of jail. Because the common police court, I'm told, has a holder on you, so you'll have to appear in that court too. But we'll send down, let's send down his judgment. You got a probation violation, I'm told, in common police court. Did you have a case in court in Ironton?
In 2020, everything was transferred over to Kentucky, all my stuff was handled over in Kentucky.
Well, I don't control what the judge in Ironton does, but apparently they issued a warrant for you, so you'll have to deal with them too, so. Any other questions, sir? Did you have a lawyer in your case in Ironton?
Yeah, that was in 2020.
You don't remember who it was?
Jim Payne.
Oh, well, he's not around anymore. He's the prosecutor up in Benton County now.
Yeah, like I said, that was a couple of years ago. I've been doing everything I'm supposed to be doing over in Kentucky. This is the first run-in that I've had. I have no idea why I would have anything out of the wild.
Well, I don't know either, but it won't be before me, it'll be before the other judge, so you'll have to address that.
All right.
Okay, that's all.
State of Ohio versus Michael Rowe, case number CRB 23-4.
So, Your Honor, just on the record, Bethesda is unable to take them because of the charge for inpatient, and there's nobody else to take them for inpatient. Tried Mended Reeds, they said no. Mended Reeds will do outpatient.
How about the counseling center? No? No.
We can do outpatient, but
Yeah.
charges like that.
He's homeless, so.
Yeah.
So, Your Honor, there's a possibility of additional charges coming, but we don't know much about that right now. So I think the prosecution's recommendation is that we set it for another pretrial and allow him out.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, what case are we on?
This is Michael Rowe, 23-4. Is that correct, Mr. Green? Let him have an OR bond?
Yes, Your Honor. About the counseling, I don't know, I mean, it seems to me that there was a discussion about the fact that he locates himself more upriver, Crown City, Gallipolis type area, so maybe there's a counseling agency there that would.
Gallipolis.
Well, that's where he's gonna be.
Excuse me, Gallipolis. That's the way they say it.
I'm planning on heading across the bridge as soon as I get out of here. I'm going to Kentucky.
That's really a great thing to say on a bond hearing.
I'll do the talking from now on. Your Honor, I think he has a girlfriend.
Where is she? Does she have a name?
Your Honor, I just asked this to be set for a pretrial, and
When did the state think they'll know about whether there's going to be other charges or not?
Well, I don't have an estimate, and the reason is because our investigators are working hard on other serious matters that have occurred in recent days. But my belief is they're going to get around to it real fast. So we would be prepared to have a pretrial on this, next week for that matter.
I think that'd be best.
Okay, I'm going to reschedule this for January 13th for another pretrial. 10 o'clock.
And I'm sorry, Your Honor, there's not an OR bond.
No. Bond order name.
State of Ohio versus David Fetty, case number CRB 23-10. Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Fetty, we're going to see if the prosecutor was able to get a hold of Bethany, I think it was. Bethany.
Sorry, I was going to do whatever I have to do to get myself out of this place.
I understand. I think I'm aware of that, sir. Okay, you don't need to tell me again.
Because it comes straight down our chest, we put up, get that picture of it.
Okay. So So, Your Honor, we did speak with Bethany, and she wants us to give Mr. Fetty her phone number so they can make contact so she can come pick him up at the jail. So that's...
No, I will walk from here,
Okay.
because I am going straight down there and get a eviction notice to get to my house.
Well, she doesn't want a protection order.
Bethany doesn't want to kick you out, and she wants to come pick you up at the jail. I don't think she didn't want to file the charges to begin with. It wasn't her idea to file the charges, it was the deputy's idea to file the charges. So,
She says he can come back to the house, and she says he allowed them to stay there. But at the same time, Mr. Fetty might be using the better judgment at this point because he wants them out. So we're okay with him being out of jail. I mean, he pled guilty, so we would ask for 10 days with the remainder suspended over whatever time he has spent.
yeah. Okay, I'm going to give you a suspended jail sentence and let you out. Just don't get into don't go talk to Bethany drunk.
I'm coming straight to Chesapeake Courthouse if I make it in time to get that eviction notice.
Well, that's up to you, but I don't want you arguing, threatening, hitting on anybody, okay?
You got my word on that.
All right. I'll impose a $100 fine and suspend it on the condition there's no further problems.
There won't be, I guarantee that.
Okay, I've been guaranteed a lot before, so we'll see. 10 days in jail, all suspended. Well, I'll give him credit for, what was the end?
Well, yesterday.
1 day credit, so you got 9 days suspended. You don't have to stay away from Bethany, but you can't stay at the jail. You're getting kicked out of jail. And that's between you and Bethany, the living arrangements.
Well, I think...
Well, I don't need to know it either. I don't need to know what the living arrangements are gonna be. How old is Bethany?
She's a 29-year-old girl with a lesbian wife.
Okay. I'm like Judge Hall, I asked too many questions.
Come on, guys.
But if I had, let's do a pool, I'm saying Bethany's gonna stay. My bet is Bethany's staying.
I'm more worried about the dogs there.
Okay.
They're service dogs.
Bethany's been taking care of the dogs, Your Honor.
You better keep her around to take care of the dogs. August the 14th is your review hearing.
August the 14th?
Yes, sir. When you come in to get your eviction, you can pick up your judgment entry too.
Will do, sir.
Okay, have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Okay, on that, we're adjourned.
Hey,